movies and games and TV shows, the Cinemaniacs podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Cinemaniacs podcast, where we talk movies, games, and TV shows. I am, of course, your host, Maceo, and as always, I am joined by
Matthew.
And today we got stuff to talk about. Some stuff came out. We got Ahsoka. Ahsoka's out now.
Yep.
Started that, and Blue Beetle. We're gonna be talking about Blue Beetle, and why it's absolutely dominating the box office right now. I'm just kidding. It's absolutely failing at the box office. But we'll get into that and why that might be. But let's start off with some movies, games, and TV shows. So a bit of news for myself, kind of. I don't know if you've seen. Do you know Frasier, the old sitcom Frasier?
I do not. No.
Okay, this is Kelsey Grammer, who played Beast in X-Men.
Oh, okay.
He had a show. It was a spin-off of Cheers. And it's called Frasier, and it's about he lives in like a lavish hotel or a lavish apartment. He's very wealthy, and he's a radio host. And they're doing a reboot of it, or a revamp. So it's like a continuation of the old show. I personally am kind of excited. It's one of the only old sitcoms that I really like. I'm pretty interested in it, but that was announced for Paramount Plus just this week. It's pretty interesting.
Cool.
We got a poster for Wes Anderson's next film, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Yes.
Now, I believe we already knew that Ralph Fiennes, Dev Patel, and Ben Kingsley were going to be in this.
Yeah.
But we also got a Richard. Is it Richard Aid? I think it's Aid.
Okay.
And Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Who is on the poster?
Yeah.
He is the face on the poster. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This cast, man. I mean, Ralph Fiennes, Benedict Cumberbatch, Dev Patel, Ben Kingsley. That is an beautiful cast right there. And it's a short story, or it's a collection of short stories by Roald Dahl, and it's going to be on Netflix, I believe. It's going to be a Netflix original.
I believe the runtime's like just around an hour long. Right now, I think. So.
It's not supposed to be a full film.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty long for a short film. Like an hour-long short film. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously Wes Anderson, you know.
Yeah, right. And he's we love him.
Yeah.
We love Wes Anderson.
Definitely going to be watching for sure.
Oh, yes, for sure. And speaking of posters, we got a new poster.
Got another one.
For David Fincher's The Killer.
Yes.
Starring Michael Fassbender. This poster is very nice. I really like this poster. I've seen people go that they don't like the logo and how the logo looks with the
eye falling over.
with the eye falling over and like it got shot or something.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I honestly really like it. I think it's very stylistic.
Yeah. I like how the art, like just him holding the gun and stuff is designed as well. But it's like a
watercolor.
Yeah, kinda. Like a watercolor pastel kind of thing going on. It looks really awesome. I was also just now realizing that this movie is also a Netflix movie.
Also a Netflix movie.
Wow.
It will be in select theaters, it says, in October, but it will be on Netflix permanently.
November 10th.
November 10th, yep.
So watch it in October.
Yeah, watch it when it's in the theater if you can.
Yeah, for sure.
So very very interesting, very
exciting stuff.
Yeah. Execution is everything.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Barbie. Some Barbie news.
Yes.
Not very big Barbie news, but Barbie will be in IMAX for 1 week, starting September 22nd and ending the week after.
Okay.
I'm not gonna see it in IMAX probably. We don't have an IMAX theater where we live, and I don't know. I'm probably not gonna go see it again. But it's very exciting that it is going to IMAX.
I saw like a little meme about like Barbie and IMAX be like, and it's Margot Robbie as the hologram girl from 2040, Blade Runner 2049.
You look
super
lonely,
big and long and stuff.
Yeah,
but I have a little bit bigger Barbie news.
Okay,
little bit I say, as Barbie has reached $1.4 billion.
Okay,
the 1.4 mark,
climbing.
And it has officially became Warner Brothers' highest grossing movie of all time.
Wow,
at 1.4
was
billion.
Was it on its way? Was it trying to beat something else?
I believe it was trying to beat Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, so the very last Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
Yep. So,
Well, good job, Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie doing some. I mean, it was already making waves, but making the hugest of waves
the
now.
Biggest of waves for sure.
Yeah.
Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. We got a first trailer for it.
Yep.
And we got a confirmation that it will be actually 2 different movies. The first film is going to be called Rebel Moon: Child of Fire, and the second one is called Rebel Moon: Scargiver.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then we can talk about this trailer now. It's a little. It feels like Zack Snyder, obviously doing a mixture of like Dune and Star Wars type feel, but it feels like he's like trying to be really badass. You know?
Yeah.
Scargiver.
I don't. To me, it. I definitely feel that, and I don't know I read some stuff too about like some of the people behind the movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One of the producers, I think, on the movie or something, came out recently and said that he's glad that it wasn't a Star Wars movie, and he said fuck Star Wars and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I mean, but Snyder wanted this to be a Star Wars movie. You know, that was like the initial thing about this movie is that Snyder was pushing for it to be a Star Wars movie.
Right.
So you can't be like now that it's not a Star Wars movie, but it's still coming out and it looks awfully close to Star Wars.
With lightsabers.
You're going, oh, nah, man, fuck Star Wars. Nah, man.
Yeah,
We want to be so different from Star Wars, yet we have lightsabers. We have the, you know, we have the, how would you say it? The flags are there that it has like the same kind of sci-fi feel like a Star Wars or like a Dune.
Yes, it's very obvious.
And I agree with what you said. It's more like a mixture probably between the two. Like, there's not like the Star Wars campiness. The Dune like political seriousness kind of is into it. It feels like, and I don't know. I'm in the camp that it's probably going to be still a decent movie at least.
Entertaining.
It looks, honestly, visually though, it looks really good.
It looks great visually.
I know that's one thing we can always say about a Snyder movie is that it's probably going to look pretty good.
Yeah, unless you can't see it at all.
Yeah.
it's like the balance of Snyder films is it looks really good or you can't even see it.
But so far it looks good. I don't know about the whole different like cuts of it and stuff, like the R-rated cut and
that's what so there's going to be a director's cut with extra hour.
Yeah.
Snyder and his director's cuts.
Yeah.
Before the movie even comes out. The director's cut is supposed to be what the studio didn't want you to see, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be like something that happens after the theatrical or the straight to streaming cut.
Yeah.
But announcing that there's going to be a director's cut before the movie even comes out, it's like, well then just make the director's cut the movie if you really want it.
And it's like a weird director's cut because like a movie, the first movie that is coming out, like the no cut extra stuff behind it is a PG-13 movie. And then the director's cut with the extra hour is going to be a rated R.
Like Batman v Superman. Yeah. The Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, basically. And it's going to be rated R extra. I was not thinking it was going to have an extra hour worth of scenes. Like, so it was, he already said that it was going to be rated R, but I wasn't thinking, I was thinking maybe like 15 minutes added of some more gore or something, you know? Not another hour, bro. And this movie's already going to be, 2.5, 3 hours long?
Yeah, both movies, I guarantee you, will be over 2 hours. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't get why he has to have so many director's cuts.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of a him thing, but it's also his fans, the Snyder fans, they love more Snyder, even though they love more than what they get, which is what they get is already like, you should probably stop there, But and I like actually what you said. You just said that it's like Star Wars without the campiness, kind of.
Yeah.
Which, if you take out the campiness of Star Wars, it then becomes Star Wars taking itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And Snyder made a Superman and Batman movie that was taking itself too seriously.
I'm not gonna say that the trailer kind of looks like Star Wars taking itself too seriously, but it kind of looks like Star Wars taking itself too seriously.
I mean, and you can argue that Dune is that too, but Dune is the politics of Star Wars pretty much only, you know?
Yeah.
With action, but it's mainly the politics of Star Wars, and it's taking itself serious when it needs as it needs to. You know, if Star Wars were only politics, I would expect it to be pretty serious.
I also love that Dune, at least Dune action-wise, they have like an abstract kind of fighting style with the suits and stuff like that, and how they interact with normal like oh, you can't just shoot this person because their armor and stuff like that. It has to be like a slow penetrating blade and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's very abstract. It's very unique. It's not laser sword. And I'm saying this as a Star Wars fan. Star Wars invented they basically invented the laser swords, and that kind of sci-fi kind of aspect. And I just don't know. I feel like Rebel Moon maybe could have. I'm not saying that they haven't. Maybe there is something special in the movie, that we have yet to find out. But at least right now, it looks like it's going to be like, these people have guns. These people have laser swords.
Yeah.
One is better than the other.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I mean, there are lightsabers in the trailer. They show dudes with laser swords.
And they just have like an extra like little flare coming off them.
Right.
So we're different. We're
different.
These lightsabers are different.
Yeah.
No, they're still lightsabers.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is going to be the comparison no matter what, though. I mean, anybody in any kind of fictional product could have a laser sword, and we're all going to go lightsaber.
Yeah.
And it's because Star Wars. It's because of Star Wars, And but when you're doing basically a blatant Star Wars parody or ripoff or new story of Star Wars that isn't Star Wars, it is more obvious.
Yeah.
Instead of, a Marvel superhero that happens to have a laser sword or something,
Like, I'm just going to say, like, let's take the creator, for example, right?
Okay.
If the trailer and the creator, someone just randomly a lightsaber popped out, I would have the same same reaction. It'd be like, that feels kind of like, why? You're doing Star Wars, but not kind of Star Wars. But they don't have that because it doesn't even seem like their story is like remotely about kind of that much like, close to close, like night combat or anything like that. It feels more, it's like political, and I know a lot of sci-fis are political and stuff like that. Yeah. But it is more like political and like robots and, what are they going to do to us and stuff like that.
Right.
But even still, I will tune in to Rebel Moon, of course.
Yeah, I'll probably be watching it too.
It's a new movie. I mean, I'm going to watch it. And as of right now, I'm not too excited, not excited.
Yeah, it definitely had its like interests. It has things to be interested in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there isn't a lot of good going into it,
You don't see me going,
I'm not screaming for the.
Yeah, but I'm not overly hating on it either. It's just kind of see how it plays out.
Yeah. Well, and then the last bit of news that I had was Warner Brothers.
Yes.
They have pushed back their next few releases, including Dune Part 2, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim.
Yes.
Okay, I knew you'd know how to say it. I was like, I'm gonna mess this up so bad on purpose. Dune is coming out on March 15th, 2024. Yes. Godzilla X Kong is April 12th, 2024.
My birthday, by the way.
It is. Yeah, it is your birthday.
Yep.
Birthday present right there. Go see it on your birthday, I guess. And Lord of the Rings is coming out December 13th, 2024.
Yeah.
I don't know when that was supposed to come out originally, but that is much farther than the other two. I think this is good. I think it's good because obviously they're doing it because of this strike, or more accurately, because they refuse to pay the people on strike.
Yeah.
But they are obviously giving the quality movies the time that they need to be good.
Yeah.
That being said, a movie they didn't push, that they are clearly not excited for or have much faith in, is Aquaman.
Yeah.
Which is the last DC movie to come out this year.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I'm just saying, if they genuinely, like, we can be objective about this. If they cared about Aquaman as much as they do about Dune Part 2 or Godzilla X Kong, Aquaman would have been pushed with these movies as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, it would have. Yeah.
They obviously do not care about Aquaman.
Yeah.
They
know.
are truly getting it out there, and once Aquaman's out, they're gonna be like, "Woo, we are done." At least I hope. At least I hope they're like, "We are done with those guys."
Yeah.
It's over.
It's
Breath
over.
of fresh air, and that's clear because it didn't get pushed back.
Yeah.
If it got pushed back, then it would be like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's obviously not the case.
Yeah. So that's I mean, again, I'm glad that these movies are getting the time that they need, but at the same time, it is upsetting when we wanted to go see Dune when it came out here in a few months,
Yeah.
But now we have to wait.
Yeah.
But other than that, pay the actors and the writers so that way this doesn't have to happen.
Pay the people.
Pay the people, man.
For sure.
For real. Well, what'd you have?
So I'll go off a little bit on release dates.
Okay.
This is likely to change just because of the stacked roster of this month. But let me tell you and our lovely audience the release schedule as of now for March 2024, the month where
March
Dune comes out.
Okay.
So on the 1st, we have I believe the next Pixar movie, which is Elio,
I think that's what it's called.
The space movie where he's going around.
Little boy goes to space,
Yeah,
gets kidnapped or something.
That's starting out. The only movie I don't know on here, The Fall Guy. I don't know if that's actual Fall Guys movie. I think
that's the Ryan Gosling movie.
Oh, is that the
Fall
Ryan Gosling
Guy?
movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another big movie then.
Yeah, that's a big movie. Yeah.
So The Fall Guy. Then on the 8th, we have A Quiet Place Day 1, the new Quiet Place spinoff. I believe it has Joseph Quinn and Lupita
Nyong'o.
Yeah.
Okay.
Them two.
We were just talking about Joseph Quinn, how he hasn't been in anything.
Yeah, I forgot that he was in that. Yeah, and then on that same day, Kung Fu Panda 4.
Wow.
Dune Part 2 on the 15th. On the 22nd, Disney's Snow White movie. On the 29th, Mickey 17, which is Bong Joon-ho's next movie with Robert Pattinson.
Yep.
And then on the 29th, the untitled Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel. So the next Ghostbusters movie.
March is looking good.
That is a stacked month, bro.
Yeah. There are going to be 3-hour episodes of us covering those. That's
Bro, Kung Fu Panda 4 and Dune Part 2 possibly within the same week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That
is crazy. That's hype.
That's some cinema right there.
Yeah, that is some cinema. That is in fact cinema. Very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah.
That could change, obviously, and it is probably likely that some of those will change.
Yeah.
But there's a decent possibility that I would say at least 4 of those still probably come out in that month.
Yeah, that's a fair guess.
And obviously it could be like the ones maybe we don't care much about, like Elio or Snow White.
Yeah.
But it could also be Kung Fu Panda 4, Dune Part 2, Mickey 17, stuff like that.
Right.
Moving on, we got a new trailer for a new movie called Foe, directed by a director called Garth Davis. And it's starring Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal, two young Oscar-nominated actors and actresses.
Yes.
And it's going to come out in theaters on October 6th, which is the same day that Killers of the Flower Moon comes out. Scorsese's next movie.
Okay.
So we have the next Barbenheimer, officially.
Yeah.
The Foe Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Foler Moon.
But, yeah.
Nice.
We got... Oh, yeah. Chris Mazin says a spinoff of The Last of Us show is very possible. He said that him and Neil Druckmann would both be pretty interested in that, probably.
Okay.
And so, yeah. Maybe look forward to spinoffs of the show.
I think... I don't know. What makes The Last of Us so interesting is the two main characters.
Yeah.
It's why people love The Last of Us is Joel and Ellie. And the second part is a little more controversial because of how it takes those characters and some decisions that they make. And some added characters that a lot of people don't really like, which I do like. A spinoff I don't know is really needed. I think they should either, because I don't know if there's any more plans to make another game. The end of the second one, it really doesn't feel like there's another plan, but they could easily extend it in the show and make a Last of Us Part 3, but it's the show only, a new original story from the show. But I don't know if it needs a spinoff. I don't know if it could really do a spinoff. If it does, it'll just be like, why didn't we just get a game of this too or something? I don't know. Yeah.
So I have heard that a lot of people say that The Last of Us Part 2 ends kind of like pretty conclusively, you know?
Yes,
and
it
doesn't really leave that much aspired for
Yeah.
a third game possibly. But at the same time, I've heard people recently kind of begging for a Last of Us Part 3 game, and
I'm down. I'm really down because I love that world and I love those characters, but it would have to be great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this one, it really feels like not a trilogy of games. It really felt like it was supposed to be a part 1, part 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they make a third one, it'll have to be really good. All I know is that season or The Last of Us Part 2 will be split into 2 separate seasons.
Yeah, I think they've already confirmed. I think that there is going to be minimum 3 seasons of the show.
Yeah. That's very good because, and I already know how they could do it. I won't say it because it'll spoil it for you, and anybody out there that hasn't played the second game. But it is very much, it needs to be split, very much so, because the game itself is pretty split too. It ends a certain way at a certain point, and then it starts almost a brand new side of the story. Like you think it ends, and then a new story basically begins with the same characters. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, cool. So some more video game movie news, kind of.
Okay.
Zack Snyder wants to direct a Gears of War movie. I don't know if you've heard about Gears of War, but
I know what it is, but I don't know anything about it.
yeah, I'm the same. I've heard about Gears of War, but Zack Snyder wants to direct one, I guess.
All right. I mean, I don't know if that's I feel like, isn't Gears of War like just like a Call of Duty type game?
I honestly think so. I think it's maybe more sci-fi kind of based.
I mean,
but it is kind of military, like, oh
yeah. Yeah. Very much like guns. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if there's no like story for him to ruin, you know, there's no like passionate fan base of characters and story that you wouldn't be ruining. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Moving on, we got Michael Mann recently talked a little bit about the Heat sequel, which apparently
I forgot about that.
So apparently the sequel to Heat has already been written in a book, and it just has yet to be adapted. It was written by Michael Mann, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is just yet to be adapted. And what I heard about it is he still doesn't know, apparently, if he's going to do it or not. He still sounds kind of on the fence about possibly doing it or not. And to add on to that, he said in an interview that he had talks with Adam Driver about him playing Neil McCauley, which is Robert De Niro's character.
So there's okay.
So the thought is, I guess, is that it's a prequel instead of a sequel.
Well, how old are they supposed to be in Heat 1?
I want to say that Robert De Niro's character specifically is in his 50s, probably.
Okay.
He specifically has like gray hair.
Yeah.
And he looks older probably than he actually was at the time in 1995.
Okay.
He kind of looks like they gave him a little bit more age, probably.
Okay. So yeah, probably a prequel.
Yeah, I think
sort.
so. Yeah.
So wait, is it gonna be him and Al Pacino's characters, but they don't meet or something?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that'd have to be it because the whole kind of thing is that they meet in Heat, and that's like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I also don't know about Adam Driver playing a younger De Niro.
De Niro, not a very strange choice.
Like even body type wise, they don't have the same like structure really.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as
Driver's really broad.
He's
and
a square.
Tall.
You know, we've seen that. We've seen The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
he's a square.
De Niro's he's more sunken. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know. And face wise, I don't know.
It just doesn't. That doesn't strike me as he could play younger De Niro.
Yeah.
You know.
And what's also weird is that Al Pacino is also apparently in this movie as well. So I don't know if we're getting a different actor to play young De Niro, but not a different actor to play Al Pacino, or maybe it's like a flash forward to like the present kind of or the future kind of a movie, and then we it's like Al Pacino playing his character, but like an older age of him. Or something, maybe I don't know.
Oh, did we need? I mean, I haven't seen I have yet to watch it, but
it doesn't.
It
doesn't feel like it needs a sequel.
Yeah.
It feels like it is a pretty complete, wrapped up in a nice bow kind of movie.
Yeah.
And even when I heard about Heat 2, I was like, okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Especially with the problem is Heat 2 feels like it should center kind of around Val Kilmer's character.
Yeah. Oh, that would make sense.
And Val Kilmer can't. He's not going to be.
He's not
in the Heat.
He doesn't act anymore.
Yeah, he's not going to be in the Heat sequel.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. It's
very, very strange.
It's interesting though, and it's a very good 90s action crime movie that possibly is getting a sequel / prequel. Who knows?
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
I got some. I think this is my last. Yeah, my last bit of big movie news is that Martin Scorsese's next film after Killers of the Flower Moon is confirmed to be called The Wager.
Okay.
And guess who it's starring?
Oh man,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
All right.
He's got another one with him.
Yeah, he's like, it's very obvious. He's found his new De Niro.
Yeah. It's either De Niro and Pacino or Leo for all of his movies.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Well, because Martin Scorsese knows he's at the end. You know, he's not the end of, not to be like dark or anything. He's an older guy. He knows he's older, so he's probably
he's in his 80s.
Yeah. And so I'm willing to bet anything. He's like, well, while I'm here, I'm not going to risk my actors not being here. So I'm going to use Leo, who is 30, 40 years younger than De Niro.
People give him, like, I saw people kind of give him crap about it on Twitter and stuff. Like, oh, don't you know other actors exist and stuff? Like, of course he knows other actors exist. Yeah, but like, he knows he's an older director, an older guy.
Yeah.
He's set in his ways. Older people in general are very set in their ways.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like change a whole lot.
Yeah.
He knows an actor. When he calls up Leo, he knows that he's gonna get a good performance turned in from him. You know? He doesn't. There's no question marks there.
Yeah. There's no risk. Which I mean, well, not in risk in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it's not. Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this might be bad. You know, we might have to. Yeah.
Right.
Recast or whatever. He knows it's Leo. It's gonna be good, right? And there's nothing wrong with him supplying that one or whatever, especially when he also does give opportunity to newer actors and stuff like that, like the Lily Gladstone, the female lead in Killers of the Flower Moon. I've never heard about her before this movie, and everyone's raving about her and stuff now.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
that was her. That was her first big role.
Yeah, it was Wolf of Wall Street.
She's
yeah,
22.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, so he does also give those those impactful characters people remember. Trust me, people remember Margot Robbie and Wolf of Wall Street. He gives those impactful roles to lesser known people as well. He's not always like, oh yeah, De Niro, Leo, Al Pacino, every single film. No. And he's not the only guy who does it either. Tarantino.
Oh no, yeah. Tarantino knows his people.
Yeah, he knows who he likes. Now I will say Tarantino, he does dabble a bit more probably, but even still, Samuel L. Jackson's like in every Tarantino movie.
He's in every single one. I think except for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that's the only one he's not in.
Yep.
And Tarantino, he's found his people that he uses in all of his movies, but he also adds people.
Yeah.
He adds. He's got his. He's like Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson does the exact same thing. So yeah. Well,
for sure, but that is my movie news.
Okay, well, I had no comic book movie news this week.
No comic?
I didn't have anything. I didn't see any bit of news that came out this week.
I had one very tiny thing, which we will probably discuss with... Probably not, because it's not really a big plot point, so it's actually better to discuss it here probably.
Okay.
But the director of Blue Beetle confirms that the green-colored scarab at the beginning of the opening...
I did see this, yeah.
...is Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It's a Green Lantern ring.
The
I'm
ring,
assuming, yeah. So
when they and we'll talk about this more in depth, when they scatter at the beginning, it shows the multiple different colors. I guess those are all different things.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting.
Yeah. And that's cool. We already got a Green Lantern tease.
Already got a tease.
Kind of didn't even know it, honestly.
Yeah. We got a tease for Green Lantern in a universe that we don't know is the new DCU or not.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. But yeah.
And then I do have a tiny bit of of video game news as well.
Okay.
So Sony apparently applied for a patent that would allow 100 people to play one video game simultaneously on a giant movie theater screen.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
possibly movie theaterizing video games.
I mean, I like that idea. A lot of the people that work at our theater here in town, they the guys that I know that work there have talked about how they have brought in their Xboxes or their PlayStations and just played on the theater screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's that kind of makes me want to work there, but at the same time, is like I don't want to work there.
Yeah, cleaning up after everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to work at a place that I consider like somewhere fun. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
that's true.
definitely. Yeah, but so that's all you had.
Yeah, that's my news. Yep.
All right, well then, I mean, we can hop right into our reviews then.
Oh wait, actually, I do have
Oh.
a big. Well, not depending on how familiar you are with the MCU and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of big news, I think. But My Time to Shine Hello, take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
He's been wrong. He's been right, obviously.
Yep.
He has confirmed that Jeff Loveness and Michael Waldron are not writing Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars anymore.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Very good news.
Two writers that, if you are kind of in the MCU bubble and stuff,
Yeah.
people don't like.
Yeah.
They've contributed a lot of the
Not goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just like
the image deterioration of kind of the Marvel product and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I'd say.
yeah. Even though I think Jeff Loveness, the two things that we have for those guys are Jeff Loveness did Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, warranted, I think, for his firing,
Yeah.
because Quantumania is not the best. It's very weak.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of things that I love about it.
Yeah.
But Michael Waldron did Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, wow.
Which I really like. I mean,
Yeah.
I has its issues, but I think it's up there with some of the better stuff that came out in Phase 4 and Phase
Yeah,
5. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
really have no huge issues with that movie.
Yeah.
And he also did Loki,
Oh,
too,
wow.
which is like, so
So that one's actually kind of surprising then.
it is kind of surprising, but at the same time, it's not surprising because Marvel listens to their fans most of the time, and when the fans say something doesn't work, that they also probably, if they follow through with it, they knew it didn't work either.
Yeah.
Which means they saw that everyone was saying Michael Waldron needs to get out of there. We didn't like this movie that he did, so they were like, okay,
Yeah.
he's gone. Michael Waldron also wrote episodes of a lot of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Which is something that a lot of people were like, yeah, don't get
He's a Rick and Morty writer.
yeah, don't get him. So is the She-Hulk writer. They've just been hiring Rick and Morty writers for years now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Michael Waldron he's not terrible. He did a movie and a show that I really like.
Yeah.
But he was saying some shit after that was like, really? He was like, Jeff Loveness was like, yeah, my Avengers movie's not going to have the Fantastic Four in it or stuff. He was saying stuff that we were like, should we even know this?
Yeah.
Michael Waldron did the same thing, except he was saying stuff about the movies that he did make that we probably shouldn't have known, like things that were going to happen. That
Yeah.
were like, why are
Oh,
you
yeah.
saying this? This is making it so we wish we got this,
Yeah.
you know? So inevitably, it was probably a good thing that both of them are gone.
Yeah.
So
I've heard the top names out there to pick up the two big Avengers movies
Mhm.
are Phil Lord and Chris Miller,
yeah,
the guys who wrote Cross
Yes.
the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse and stuff. I think everyone is in love with how they handle multiverse
yeah.
stories and projects,
There's
and
no one more perfect.
they've proven that they can handle big kind of event kind of
Yeah.
movies with Across the Spider-Verse, and they're going to do it with Beyond as well. I don't see a reason for being against them being on the Avengers movies, honestly. I don't.
And they're writers and directors. You know,
Yeah.
they're not just writers.
Yeah.
So they can do both. It's
Yeah.
it's a package deal right there when you hire them. And I think very much so. I think Phil Lord and Chris Miller should definitely be the top choice. But I also think, you know, the Russo brothers said that they were done with Marvel after Endgame or Infinity War and Endgame because it was such a huge task. And okay, but maybe bring them back for the next big task. You know, don't give them all the tasks and the big task.
Yeah.
Give them the 2 humongous tasks, and that's it. They get a huge paycheck, they get a good 2 years of work, and they get another break, and they probably, Marvel probably won't, with what it seems like with the reboot and everything, we might not get another big event like this for a while. Yeah. So I don't know. I think those two, I think the Russo brothers and Phil Lord and Chris Miller are definitely their top choices, or my top choices personally.
Yeah.
And definitely Phil Lord and Chris Miller. That would be incredible.
Oh yeah.
The moment they're like, yeah, we got Phil Lord and Chris Miller doing the next 2 Avengers movies, everyone's gonna go, they're good.
Yep.
Movies are gonna be good.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, we can hop into our reviews now.
Let's get it.
Ahsoka, Star Wars Ahsoka show started streaming this week.
Yes.
We got episode 1 and 2, and we watched both of them. How are we feeling so far about Ahsoka?
Ahsoka is interesting.
Okay.
I think. Okay, well, I'll say this right off the bat. I think it has a huge reliance on the show Star Wars Rebels. Right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
An over-reliance, I'd say.
Yep.
And I think that's already proven to be a thing within the first 2 episodes, and I think that will probably not get better with the show.
I don't think so.
I would expect at best it stays stagnant. It kind of is as bad as it is right now. At worst, obviously, it gets way worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, this show is definitely banking on you watching Star Wars Rebels. That is
heavily.
That's just out, like, they directly reference events that happen in Star Wars Rebels. They obviously have a bunch of characters that are introduced in Star Wars Rebels, and a lot of their character arcs are in Star Wars Rebels. In fact, I don't know, it's just so. It was actually kind of crazy to me because I haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, and I know some of the stuff that goes on, but not really those characters.
Yeah.
I know the stuff that Star Wars Rebels has that affects, like, the characters I know, like Darth Maul and Obi-Wan.
Right. Yeah.
Because spoiler alert, Darth Maul, he meets his end in Rebels.
Okay.
And that's where they finish off his character arc. So I was like, oh, I got to know where they finish off Darth Maul at and stuff. And it's a good ending for sure. But I don't know how that's really applied to the other characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One character which you'll definitely already be familiar with, who is a major antagonist in Rebels, is the Grand Inquisitor from the Kenobi show.
Yes.
So he is basically the main villain of Rebels, essentially.
Yeah.
And I guess the Empire as a whole would be the main villain, but he's the main guy pursuing them. It's not
the
Vader,
Empire's always the villain, though.
Yeah.
So it's like,
they're the conflict, literally. Yeah. But the show definitely needs you, in my opinion at least, Ahsoka. There's so much that they divulge that is just strictly, if you haven't watched Rebels, they're just going in circles around you. Like, you just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault for, like, not paying attention. You could be paying attention every second of the Ahsoka show, but they're referencing Star Wars Rebels, like, pretty directly. And
every moment, really.
Yeah, pretty much where it's weaved into the story so far.
Yeah.
Like Ezra's character and where Thrawn and him end in Rebels, apparently.
Right, yeah.
That's another huge thing, is they're obviously, Ahsoka and, like, their team, Sabine and all them, are looking for Ezra and, by in turn, Thrawn.
Yeah.
And apparently they might be together, they might not, I don't know, but apparently their ending in Rebels is indicative of where they are now in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Okay, so how and why?
Yeah.
Like, one, Ahsoka, this takes place years after Rebels.
Right, yeah.
Like,
'cause she's way older.
Yeah, and the original trilogy takes place in between both of these. And, like, Mandalorian takes place.
Yeah.
That stuff takes place in between both these shows. But their ending, like, directly correlates to the Ahsoka show. Like, I don't understand why it feels too connected. And to be fair, they did say going into, this is going to be, like, the next season of Star Wars Rebels, but that's not really a good thing.
You shouldn't target it that way, yeah.
Like, you definitely should be able to watch this show without watching Star Wars Rebels, and it feels like, at best, you can kind of grasp what's going on without watching it. Like,
yeah,
you can like what's happening, you know what they're trying to do, where they're going, but like they reference a lot of events and they bring in a lot of characters too from Rebels that are like you're supposed to have a reaction
Oh, there they
to,
are, yeah.
and it's just like you don't know who that is,
Right?
you know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Someone who hasn't even seen every piece of Star Wars media in general, doesn't know that much about Star Wars. It is definitely like every second of the show they're like, I miss Ezra, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And it's very bad for the average consumer. And Marvel has this issue too, specifically with the shows, because most people go see the movies, and then when a show comes out and nobody watches it, and they go see the next movie, and the movie is all about that show.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what a big complaint about like the importance of the shows. That's been a big complaint throughout Phase 4 and 5 is that people don't want to have to watch a show to be able to watch a movie.
Right.
Now with this, it's kind of worse because you have to watch a different show to understand this show.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and like you said, they're all going, "Oh, Ezra, this guy's so amazing. Ezra's so amazing." They're saying that because he was he's the main character of Rebels,
right?
And so it's like, oh yeah, this main character guy that was popped up in that brief time period where he's so amazing, and we gotta find him. It's like, can you stop jacking him off for like a second, kind of like?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
And
there's also this one. So there's this one scene where they like have the painting of like their group on the wall or whatever.
It's so corny,
bro. So they literally took their looks in the animated style and stuff on the wall. I was like,
it's really corny.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
but I don't like how that scene in general, that has no emotional value at all. If you don't know anything about what's going on.
And that scene, the scene at the end when she walks up to the mural, is from the show. It's from Rebels. It's a direct shot for shot. I watched the this account that I follow reposted. It was like the shot for shot of this is incredible. That scene happens in Rebels.
Bruh.
The exact shot for shot. The moment that scene starts, the moment it ends, same length, everything.
So I know that the guy with the like shaven head with the blue eyes that she was looking at kind of the most in the mural, that was like, I don't know much about him, but I know that guy dies in Rebels, and it's that's why that moment in Ahsoka is supposed to have like some emotional impact. It's like, oh man, this character that we like that died and
Ezra,
stuff.
right?
No, it's not Ezra. It's he has like a, what I'm talking about? He had like a shaven head and blue eyes on the painting and stuff. Sabine, I think, was looking at it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's the guy who taught Ezra like the Jedi stuff and what he knows.
Okay.
He was an actual Padawan at the Jedi Academy and stuff like that.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And then he escaped through the Order 66, all that.
Right.
And then trained Ezra and stuff. He dies in Rebels though, and that scene is supposed to have a lot of weight because of that death. Bro, I felt nothing. And that when she was like,
nothing.
Oh, this emotional. I was like, yeah, I know this guy's dead, but I don't care for his character at all. I don't know it. So I don't know. It had no weight. And there's a lot of scenes that are like that, where it's like, it banks on this like friendship between these two, these two characters that you should already know.
Yeah.
I'm here for Ahsoka, bro. That's
that's probably my biggest complaint so far, is that it feels like a sequel to Rebels and not an Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel like an Ahsoka. I think they showed Sabine Wren more than her.
Yeah.
And I guess we can talk about the individual characters now, like the new ones and the ones that they brought back. Sabine, I don't hate her, but she's not interesting. I don't think she's very interesting. They tried to, with that opening scene of her on the bike. That scene is pretty cool, but her as a character is just so far just not very interesting. It doesn't help that the actress isn't doing a very good job at showing any emotion. I mean, that scene where she wakes up from the nightmare, like, oh, Ezra. Yeah. I was like, that was the worst thing ever. Yeah.
And people are also complaining about her getting her surviving the lightsaber to like the gut or whatever, because that is exactly how Qui-Gon dies.
Yeah.
And it's like immediate too. Like he dies like no time. He's like, oh no, Obi-Wan, I must die now.
Yeah. She does. I mean, she gets stabbed and nothing happens.
I wish Obi-Wan was like, no, you don't have to die here, man. It's okay. No, I have to.
Yeah. No, Master. Disney will retcon this ability and we'll be able to force heal people in this exact wound. But you're not going to be alive for that. So sorry.
It's just, it felt, and she's not even force sensitive.
She's not?
Yeah, no, she's just they kind of tried to show it off when she fought like the badder like Sith kind of girl with the lightsaber. She doesn't know how to wield a lightsaber. She's not force sensitive or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that's why she got her ass kicked in the
right,
fight.
Yeah.
And
she's probably going to get the Force at the end of the show.
Bro.
Yeah, she's probably going to unlock her abilities.
Bro, if they start making like, oh, this person has the Force as like plot twists, bro, like bro, that can't be a plot twist, bro. That's literally supposed to be something that's like built up through some kind of awakening, some earning of it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They inject her with Force juice.
Just
give her a syringe of
like, bro, even Rey, she had the Force the entire time.
Yeah.
She just didn't, she couldn't use it or access it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not something that's like, oh yeah, this person who is pretty clearly, that'd be like Han Solo, like suddenly
he just gets the Force.
He has the Force now. Like,
yeah.
What?
Dude that doesn't believe in the Force.
Yeah, he doesn't even like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I don't know.
Sabine is, she's pretty weak so far. Like as a both physically and as a character, she's pretty weak. But is that scene when she's on her motorcycle and we like her introduction scene, is that the first time that music that isn't like the Star Wars music has been in Star Wars? Like not even counting like the Cantina music. That's like Star Wars music.
Yeah, it's still Star Wars music. Yeah.
This was like a rock song. This is like K-pop type stuff.
I don't know. Maybe not.
It was definitely, it caught me off guard. I was like, okay, what? This is like some like normal Earth stuff. Yeah. Some throwing some like pop rock from the 80s in there, Very strange. But Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already more interesting just because she's played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who's a great actress and just so charismatic. And
she has the whole get up. She's got the
get up.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know her character's supposed to be from Rebels too.
Yeah.
And she's not interesting, but she's not bad.
Yeah.
And then Ahsoka,
yeah.
She's pretty good so far. Yeah. I mean, Rosario Dawson is we already know she's great as Ahsoka, as this older version. Mm-hmm. The only issue I have with not just Ahsoka is so far nobody has like shown any kind of emotion when they speak. It's all very. It's all
serious.
It's
stoic.
Stoic. Yes.
I actually heard people complaining recently. This isn't exactly like to your point, but a lot people have been complaining recently about Ahsoka being overly stoic and stuff like that. Not the show, the character.
This the character, yeah.
Because they don't, because Ahsoka starts out as a very much not stoic, very like happy and yippee kind of girl. But that's because she's a Padawan and she's young.
Yeah.
She grows up and goes through shit, and she, doesn't. She's less reactive. Basically, every Jedi who grows up and stuff, or Sith that grows up, is like that.
Yeah.
They just get more stoic, and with their age, except for Yoda.
Except for
Yoda. Yoda just he got something different.
Yeah, he got insane. He was a old geezer syndrome. I understand that like when Jedi and Sith, as they grow and become more powerful and see more horrors, they become more stoic. I mean, that's like how it is with real people.
Yeah, with real people, yeah.
But it doesn't make for an interesting character,
yeah.
I don't think. Is to be, oh, well, they're Jedi and they've seen a lot of stuff, so they're not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I mean, she can still be a more mature, more serious version of a fun-loving character.
I think they showed that balance a little definitely better in in the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly,
like that.
exactly.
She has a playfulness like with Grogu and stuff like that. That is nodded to and stuff like that, and it's not overly where it's like, okay, it feels kind of out of character, but it feels like playful and right, you know.
Yes, exactly.
And
just so far in this
feels
show,
like it feels like it definitely could have more of that.
Yeah. I think so far my favorite parts though are the villains.
Yes, I was gonna say too. My favorite parts of the show have absolutely been the villains for sure.
First I want to say the girl. I don't know the actress's name.
Yeah.
I don't know the character's
I know
name.
that she's the only thing I heard about her is that she's from Kiev. She's Ukrainian.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. Yeah.
Cool. She's badass.
Yeah,
she's sick
awesome.
as fuck. I actually felt so far the villains are the ones showing emotion.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because they're like kind of like one note. They're supposed to be kind of one note almost, but they're not. They're actually pretty interesting. And yeah, when she's fighting Sabine and she's like using the Force and her eyes are crazy, like she looks like she's about to kill you.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say a single thing the entire time. She's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's badass. Ray Stevenson.
Yes.
Wow.
Rest in peace, obviously. That's a big thing. Our friend Ray was obviously at the end of
that
the
hit me a
episode.
little bit at the end. I was like, oh man.
That was good.
When that opening scene with him walking in, the entire time I'm thinking, I would love to see more of this character.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. You know?
I'm in love with it, with kind of where they've put it into his character right now.
Yes.
He feels kind of Count Dooku-esque to me.
He does.
Of this, like, he's definitely villainous and definitely
definitely
has evil kind of, or maybe not evil, but more so self-interested motivations. Yeah. But he still has like an elegance about how he acts. He's very cordial.
He's very posh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's very, yes, yeah.
Which adds perfectly because he's a brick house.
Oh, yeah.
He's humongous.
Yeah, he's huge.
The way he's framed, he looks gigantic.
Yes.
He looks like a monster.
Yeah, but the lightsaber looks kind of small next to
it
him.
does.
Honestly.
It does. Yeah. He's got a frame. That's for sure. I mean, literally every time the camera shows his entire figure from like the bottom and it looks up at him and his shoulders are like all the way out here and the hood is is like just as wide as his shoulders. I'm like, yeah, this guy's a threat.
Yeah.
The way he's not like a big dumb monster or big dumb idiot, He's huge and threatening physically, and what's even scarier is that he's very calm.
Yeah.
And very very proper.
Yeah, and he definitely has an intelligent kind of vibe that he emits and stuff like that,
Oh yes.
He definitely feels while the girl is like very badass and scary, he's more he's the leader because of how he acts and stuff like that,
She very much feels like she acts out a little bit more.
She feels like his Padawan, which seems like
perfect.
that. It seems like that's their relationship and stuff.
Yeah.
And I also love that they're not specifically Sith.
Yes, they're not.
That's what I really love is that we're not Sith, just evil bad guy that is easy to root against. No, they're not really Sith at all. They're just Ray Stevenson is a fallen Jedi. His character is a fallen Jedi.
That's
awesome.
Sick.
Yeah, and then I imagine his Padawan, the girl, is maybe a fallen Padawan kind of thing, or maybe she was kind of adopted into it,
Her character would make much more sense to replace Reva's character in Obi-Wan, the main villain of Obi-Wan, because I mean, to have a master who's a fallen Jedi, it would make sense if you as a youngling saw some horrors from a Jedi.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
That would make sense. She does seem a little too young for that.
Yeah.
But her character would much match that story more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's also not too much to say, but the third masked villain that has
the mystery man,
the guy with the Inquisitor blade.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's a guy. The body the body looks masculine.
We thought that with Taskmaster.
That is true. That is true.
Disney, and this isn't like a woke comment. This is literally what Disney does.
Yeah.
They will put what is obviously a man and then they will reveal later that it's a woman.
Yeah.
Just make it a woman from the beginning. Just show that we don't care. The reveal, oh, it's a woman. Well, we thought it was a man.
Yeah.
We're misogynist. You know? No, just show that it's a woman from the beginning.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not a twist to show that somebody's gender was different.
Especially with this character who's like, the face reveal of this character is that's the reveal, not like the gender. The gender doesn't matter in this situation. It's literally who is the person. You know?
It's a clone of Ahsoka. You bet.
A dark version. I don't know.
I hope not. With you said Darth Maul meets his end in Rebels.
Yeah.
And I was seriously joking when I said that. I was like, "Ooh, it's Darth Maul because he's got a double-bladed lightsaber." But this feels like a Disney move, is to bring back Darth Maul, like a big character that everybody loves.
Well, to be fair, they've already built up bringing him back through Solo,
which no one saw.
Yeah,
and no one knows that happened.
Yeah,
so
bro, no one talks about that at all. But yeah, they've basically established that in the same, because Solo takes place in the same era that Rebels does.
Yes,
in that between prequels and original trilogy era, right? And there's a decent amount of time there because it's basically the entirety of Luke's life up until New Hope.
Yeah.
So about 17, maybe 18 years.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot can happen in that time.
Yes.
But Darth Maul, I guess, goes from a crime boss to where he goes in Rebels, which is not a crime boss, at least in my eyes. I don't know. Darth Maul goes through an interesting arc where he kind of... I'm not going to spoil too much, but he goes through an interesting arc where he kind of comes to terms, like, with, like, not really being evil and not being good. He kind of is like a mirror of Ahsoka in a way.
Okay.
Where Ahsoka's like... She's like a gray Jedi.
She's got the white lightsabers.
Is what they would identify. She's like, oh, I'm no Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely not a Sith either.
Yeah.
But she's definitely more leaning towards the light side of the Force rather than the dark, obviously. Darth Maul was probably that, but just more so leaning towards the dark side of the Force because he uses the dark side of the Force as hatred, stuff like that. That fuels him. He uses that side of the Force, but he's not really evil or good.
Right.
He's just Darth Maul. But Disney has kind of built him up in Solo to be like a mafia crime boss, I guess.
Huh. Interesting.
And that's also where Emilia Clarke's character in Star Wars is connected to. What was her name?
Who's her? Oh, and I always
Solo,
forget she's in Solo. Yeah.
Starts with a K, I think her name, something like that.
Yeah, she's like his old lover or whatever.
Yeah.
It turns out not to be.
Oh, Kiara. It's something like that. Kiara. It might
Okay.
be a Q, actually. But it's something like that. And she is connected with Darth Maul in his organization or whatever.
Yes.
I don't know. About Darth Maul possibly being the masked figure,
it feels like a Disney move.
I would kind of hate it, but
yeah,
I know that it would obviously appease fans and stuff like that. So people just seeing live action Darth Maul again. But there are definitely more interesting options for sure.
Yeah.
Like it possibly being an evil Ezra. The guy that they're looking for is the guy that they're fighting against.
Which would make sense.
That's kind of cool. Or it possibly being the protagonist of the famous Star Wars games, The Force Unleashed. Star Killer, yeah. Vader's apprentice. Get Vader's apprentice versus Anakin's apprentice. That's some cool stuff there, too. There's definitely directions to go with it. I just hope it doesn't turn out to be that they take their mask off or something and we all just go, who?
Yeah, who's this? And then they exposition the entire 20 minutes of who this character is. We learn backstory.
I was there 20 years ago.
Yeah. You wronged me in some way without knowing it, and here I am. Yeah. I mean, and again, those options of Star Killer and Evil Ezra would make sense within the context of this show, what kind of show it is and who it's about.
Yeah.
But when has Disney ever done anything that made sense with Star Wars? They haven't.
Especially with reveals like this.
Yeah.
I feel like in my experience with these Disney Plus like show and even Disney stuff in general, these type of like masked figure reveals usually end up being anticlimactic.
Very.
At least for me, like especially in the shows, it's just kind of like it feels to the point where like I would have just preferred there to be none of that at all. Like just reveal to me who it was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then maybe actually explore their character when you reveal them.
Yes. It can be the reveal like end of the first episode, reveal, mystery character, and then we go, oh, okay, that's who it is. Now we
Yeah.
get to follow that character.
Yeah.
And instead, they like to wait till the last second, and we go, okay.
Like their whole character is the surprise of who they are.
Yeah. It's not a character. It's a mystery box.
It's a plot device.
It's
literally.
a plot device, yes.
Literally.
Yeah, it's all it is. Just Ahsoka, again, it's starting off pretty slow. It's not very promising so far. There are things to like, though.
Yeah. I like the action.
The action is great.
Yeah.
It's got some really, really nice action
And
in
then,
there.
like we said, the villains,
The villains.
very interesting.
Are nice.
And
I would
we
like
also
to
have
see more.
Thrawn, too. Who we haven't seen yet,
Yeah.
haven't heard anything, but I've heard a high praise for him as a character and stuff like that. So as a Star Wars fan who hasn't really interacted with him, I'm very I'm very excited to see what he has in store. It kind of feels like Ahsoka will probably have pretty good villains as long as Thrawn is handled. As long as Thrawn is handled good, and Ray Stevenson's character, and by extension the mask figure,
Balin Skull. That's a dope ass name.
That's a good name.
That's a sick name.
I think Ahsoka's gonna have a good villain lineup. It looks like.
Feels like it. Yeah. It's not very promising when they're 2 episodes in and nothing has happened.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, and you know what has happened is they just kind of tied up a Rebels plot point and that we don't know about.
Yeah.
That we never saw as an audience that's never seen Rebels.
Yeah.
So far, the first 2 episodes of their 6-part, series is tying up another show that didn't even need tied up. We see the scene at the end of the second episode in Rebels. I don't know. I don't get it, but hopefully these next 4 episodes are all right.
They got to do something because especially it's only 6 episodes, man. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it can be good. Obviously, Loki did it.
Yeah,
it
but
did the
so
6 episodes
far,
perfectly.
It's the only one.
It's the only one. I have a feeling Ezra's not gonna get introduced to like and same thing with Ron. They're not gonna get introduced to like episode 4.
Yeah,
or possibly 5. Bro, we're gonna get maybe one whole episode with both of them.
Yeah,
and they've been hyping Ezra to all hell.
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna get him for maybe 2 episodes, maybe 1.
Yeah,
bro, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we can move on now to Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
Something that honestly did not disappoint at all. So the issue that people have been having, well, not the issue that people have been having with this movie, the general consensus of this movie has been movie bad, don't like it, never watch it again.
Yeah.
And I'm here to say it's not that bad.
Yeah.
In fact, it's actually pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Now, box office wise, it is on track right now to make 140 to 170 million in its entire runtime at the theater. Not good at all.
Yeah.
But it deserves way more.
Yeah.
It deserves more, and it doesn't look like it's going to break even at all. The movie it's generic. It's a very generic superhero story, but it has a lot to love, and it tries different things with its cultural background.
Yeah.
With the type of character that Jaime is as Blue Beetle, and also being of Mexican heritage, and it's a very new take. But yeah, and we saw this. We very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What have been your thoughts on Blue Beetle?
I think I definitely agree with what you said about it being it is generic. It is kind of basic, it has a lot of tropes that it follows in terms of the superhero genre and the origin story kind of genre. But I think that the good really outweighs the basicness and how cheap that can kind of feel. I think the actual heart of the movie massively outweighs that, because not only do we see the cultural impact of Mexican culture and stuff like that, but also the it's also more so Mexican American culture, because their experience with their family previously crossing the border and stuff like that at some point, and then having to have that be a worry and stuff over their lives
Yeah.
and stuff. Still, that's a specific Mexican American kind of experience and stuff, and
Yes.
they're kind of, their obviously their whole experience is Mexican American. That's what their specific culture that they've gone through and stuff like that. Their experiences that have shaped them, and I think that's why I think that's a big portion of why I really love the family, is because they go through so much.
Yeah.
And they still are a very positive and very there for each other kind of family.
Yes.
It's obviously a lot of cultures in general are family oriented.
Yes.
But Mexican culture specifically are huge on family, obviously,
Yes.
and I think that is handled perfectly in Blue Beetle. It's family is essentially the main thing.
It is the main plot. It is the
Yeah.
main thing of the movie. Yeah.
And it's handled with soul, with heart. It's not Fast and Furious family.
It's not Vin
And
Diesel
he's,
adding 10 new characters and calling them
because family. Yeah. No, it's actual like roots, actual has roots in historical stuff that happens today, historical experiences that people go through and experiences that people go through today and stuff. It has those roots in actually being related to real life,
Exactly.
experiences and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that, like I said, the family, you feel the heart, you feel their connectedness.
Yeah. You really do. Yeah.
And it's heartwarming, honestly, to see just such a family that that they're always there for each other, even at the lowest moments and stuff like that. When, later in the movie, when a certain member of the family passes and stuff,
Yeah.
I love how each of them kind of handle like the trauma and stuff like that, and how the grandma specifically is more like, we don't have time to really fully be able to, divulge ourselves in our emotions right now. We gotta suck it in for right now and do the more important thing. And then as soon as they got that over with, she was like, time to cry now.
Yes, exactly.
And that was, I don't know, that was perfect. The grandma in general was
great character.
Was awesome. I love how she, like, at the beginning of the movie, she's like not really that prevalent. She's just kind of doing random things.
She's knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like suddenly at the end of the story, she's like, yeah, I destroyed commies when I was young.
That was so her with the braids and then with the big Gatling gun.
Standing on the
So cool. Oh my gosh. I did not expect, and from the trailer, we see that scene in the trailer where she's got the Gatling gun. But it felt like that was going to be played as like a one-time joke.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was more of like a piece of her character is so much better.
Yeah. I also love that it's like she literally says like screw those imperialists or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love how the actual like corporation that they're like fighting against and stuff, what's the name of the Cord, yeah.
Yeah.
They literally are imperialists. That's like the best part is that she's like her like fire to fight imperialism and stuff was just reinvigorated in her late ages and stuff. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I love the dad a lot. I think he has a lot of the emotional heart for me in the family. I think the beginning scenes and stuff where he's just like, no, I'm okay and stuff. Those were genuinely sad to me, bro. Just like, because he obviously needed, like, he was obviously a guy that needs help and, needed help and stuff like that. And he refused it because that's obviously a thing that, men do and stuff like that. That's a thing, a problem prevalent with, men for
older generation and more specifically, because I think obviously our generation is kind of, are more open. I think.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there are obviously people our age that are definitely not open.
Yeah.
But it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Over time. But with Alberto's age generation, very, very much.
Especially about
off.
like accepting help and stuff like that. That's definitely a big thing. And it contributes to some stuff later in the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's definitely sad, but it's also his character is it's supposed to be sad. He is that part of the movie, the actual there's some real emotion here.
Yes.
Which is what's great about Blue Beetle
is
the emotion.
It
makes you feel things. It makes you feel, fun. It makes you feel that you're actually enjoying, you're having fun watching a movie, enjoying it sounds basic, but movies that actually make you feel things. Oh.
Ooh. Whoa. Oh, had a poster fall there. We'll deal with that later.
But movies that actually make you feel things are better than movies that don't make you feel things.
Yes.
I think that's a pretty good objective statement.
Yeah.
And Blue Beetle makes you feel things, and it
Mhm.
unlike a lot of superhero movies as of recent, it doesn't feel like some soulless corporate product.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like maybe those people were definitely in the works with Blue Beetle. I mean, that's how these movies get, made by those soulless corporate people.
Yeah.
But there was definitely heart and authenticity to the experiences
Yeah.
and stuff that went behind shaping this film.
Yeah.
And I especially like with the director and stuff, they have a Mexican director
Mhm.
and everything. I think that it was very clear that this was very Mexican oriented, and it felt like that was respected and cherished in the way it should be.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't feel like a cash grab.
Yeah.
It feels like, because a movie like this that definitely is very generic and has very baseline formulaic superhero story.
Yeah.
It's very easy for it to feel like a cash grab.
Yeah.
And it isn't, because it does have that love and that care put behind it. It just happens to have the most kind of baseline superhero story.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because as long as you're putting, it's not a soulless corporate creation.
Yeah.
It's a thing that someone wanted to make out of, passion. It's even if it's basic, as long as it's good, it's still a good movie,
Yeah. And it still has like themes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It has
yeah.
something to say.
Yeah.
It's not just nonsense action and noise going on, and nothing, no real substance.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels different. It really does feel different from a lot of the recent stuff that we've been getting.
Yeah. And it's very upsetting that this is not doing as well as the past 3 movies that have come out for DC, because those movies were not good. You know, they're not good.
As good as this one.
Not as good as this. Yeah. Black Adam, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and Flash.
Yeah.
Which Flash, I personally, I know we both enjoyed.
Yeah.
But it has way more issues than this movie. And
it made way more money than Blue Beetle. It still didn't make
it
didn't make that much money.
It didn't make that much,
but it still made a lot more than Blue Beetle, and it shouldn't at all.
It really shouldn't have.
Neither,
yeah.
and definitely not Shazam.
Oh yeah.
And definitely not Black Adam, which I think made the most out of all 4 of those.
Yeah,
things.
it did. Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, Blue Beetle definitely deserved to be the highest grossing out of those 4. It feels like it has the most heart behind it, and the most actual people coming together through different experiences and stuff like that, and shaping a movie for that purpose and stuff like that. I think some other good stuff. The transformation scene.
Yeah. Well, so the visuals in general are very, very nice.
Very good, yeah.
I think there's one part of the entire movie that I thought looked off, and it was the green screen moment at the end where he has his vision. That was a little off. But it's still, overall, the visuals are great, especially in the transformation scene.
Yes.
That transformation scene, amazing.
Yes.
It's because it perfectly captures this feeling of like, I don't know what's happening right now. This has never happened to anyone else ever.
Yeah.
But also some sense of like wonder almost in some sense. But it's incredibly horrifying.
Oh yeah, there's like some cosmic horror about like this unknown black goo just starts engulfing your body.
Yeah.
And starts burning away like your clothes and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Bro. And it just starts dragging you through your
and
house.
It lifts him on the ceiling and it cracks out of his spine and stuff.
Oh my.
It goes up his ass and and then it like just breaks through his skin.
It's a grotesque transformation scene, and it feels good. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It feels so. It contributes to the authenticity of the movie. It's not a zoop. My suit's on. I'm good to go.
Right.
It's a look at this crawl up my body.
Yeah.
It gives me Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire vibes of
definitely,
the
yes.
black goo climbing
It's
up the arm and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It gives something, you know? It's not just, voop, the suit's on, I'm good to go, you know?
We talked about that too after we had seen it. It made me realize how much I miss suit up scenes.
Yeah.
And even the first nanotech scene ever, which was the Iron Man scene in Infinity War. Well, that wasn't the first one ever. Technically, the Black Panther one was in the first Black Panther movie. But the Iron Man one is what kind of like started it, really.
Yeah.
That is a great suit up scene.
Yeah.
It's got reason behind it. It's to show off, look at my new creation and my new technology. But now Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's not even nanotech. It's slap a button and the clothes kind of like unfold, very poorly edited.
Yeah.
And it just is on.
Yeah.
I miss the technical, watching a suit go on somebody, even if it's a fabric suit, you know, even if they're just putting it on, you know, like, whoosh, you know, it made me miss that. But the scene, or not the scene, but the part of the suit up scene that sticks out in my memory the most is when it's going on his face and he screams and it's got that like techno kind of layer over it, like a zombie screech almost. And when the goo is in his mouth and it's like dripping and stuff and his eyes are yellow and it's all over his head. Scary.
Yes.
Like grotesque.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The villains. Probably easily the weakest part of the film. Specifically the main like not the main villain, but the overarching villain.
Yeah, Ted Cord's like sister.
Victoria Cord, I think was her name. Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
In my opinion. She does. You said that she fits the tone of the movie and the kind of like what they were going for.
Yeah, like being that imperialist, like rich person to hate kind of thing. Yeah.
She fits, but it's just not good.
Yeah.
And the actress Susan Sarandon, Susan Sarandon. She's a good actress, but she just feels like she's just yelling lines in this movie. She doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't really work. She's easily the weakest part for me. But Carapax, the bigger villain, the actual physical threat.
Yeah.
His character gets really good at the very end.
Yeah.
And I wish we saw more of it.
Yeah. It's kind of hinted at that he has like some kind of hatred for Victoria
amulet that he has. Yeah.
But it's not built on enough, I don't think. And he's not given enough screen time to the point where it kind of, I don't know, to me at least, the exposition of his backstory kind of blindsided me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I was kind of like, wow, I was really not expecting to get like his full backstory right here.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad though. Like I mean, his backstory is sad.
It's really sad. It's an emotional backstory,
and it kind of automatically gives him the sympathy that I think that is needed from the audience and stuff.
Yeah,
and I kind of had sympathy for him throughout the movie, anyways, because just how like bad Victoria was.
Racist.
Yeah, she's so racist.
Straight up racist. She's cartoonishly racist.
Yeah, she is.
In this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. Like,
I mean, the entire plot is to like be rid of Mexican neighborhoods. That's the entire plot of the movie. Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, easy to make a person hateable is just make him racist, but that doesn't make him a good, well-written villain. You know?
But no, he still though. I think the heart and emotional, actually something that he brought gave me enough to where I didn't feel completely like that the villains were completely lost or anything like that. I think he somewhat saved the villains in this movie.
I think that's fair,
he was carrying, I would say, the villain weight in this movie.
He definitely did. And then obviously the biggest goat of the movie is Dr. Sanchez.
Yes.
That's not his name. But that's what they credit him as. Literally, his entire character is to be her punching bag. Like her like to show that she's racist, really. Is like she calls this Mexican
the
doctor
wrong name and stuff. Yeah,
she just comes up with like a stereotypical Mexican name.
Yeah,
Sanchez, and he's like the entire time he's like, "That's not my name.
That's not my name."
And the movie credits him as Sanchez. So it's like even the movie
That's
itself.
That's actually great.
Yeah.
They should have gave him his full name in the credits.
They should have,
that he says out loud.
Which is funny though, because the full name that he says, I'm pretty sure is like straight up from like an old Vine or something. I think it's a Vine that some like a Mexican creator made.
Yeah.
Like Rudy Mancuso, who hilariously Rudy Mancuso, who is an old Viner, is in The Flash. He plays his buddy and that he works with.
Okay.
The guy, there's the guy and the girl that he works with that are both like annoying that he hates. That's Rudy Mancuso, and I'm pretty sure that came from him. Was that joke in Blue Beetle? But I think the movie overall is very fun. It is simply just a fun time. It's not something you need to rush out to see in theaters. I think. The only reason to see it in theater is to give it more money.
Yeah.
It's really the only reason because
objectively, I think the movie it is one you could wait for streaming for. It feels like it definitely could be enjoyed at like an at-home watch the same amount it could be in theaters. But like you said, it deserves more money, so that's probably the biggest reason to go see it in theaters, I'd say.
And it's easily a good time, good family night, good date night. It's easily there's
great family movie.
Yes, there's more reason than just go give it money. I want it to get money, so we get more movies like it
like
and
this,
and about the story. But also, it isn't just me personally go see the movie because I want more.
Yeah.
It is like you will have a good time watching it. Make a night of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I simply is it's not the best. It really isn't the best.
Yeah.
But it's not trying to be. And it clearly is. It clearly knows what it wants to be, and it tries its hardest to deliver a very heartwarming and emotional story, and it succeeds.
Yeah.
And Jason Sudeikis should be in the next one.
Yes.
As Ted Cord.
Absolutely.
Yep. Which I thought. Because you had said something about it before we went to go see it, which was
I saw like rumors about it on Twitter. Literally just not even rumors, more so literally just people like reacting from Blue Beetle, like, "Yo, Jason Sudeikis should be this guy in the next movie or whatever." I was like, I don't know who that is, but sure, he should be it.
But
obviously, after the movie,
it makes way more sense. But I thought going in, I was like, okay, Jason Sudeikis is going to be in this, so I had that pre-notion of like, okay, I'm waiting for Jason Sudeikis. But that didn't happen. But he definitely should be in the sequel.
Yeah.
Should they make one? Which they should make one.
Yeah. It definitely feels like he's going to be. I mean, the way they ended the movie, it feels like he's definitely going to be prevalent in some sense.
Yeah. So the other conversation to have about this movie is DCEU or DCU. What I heard going in was it's impossible for this movie to be DCU because it has too many references to DCEU. It has too many direct like conflict with that universe.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, not really.
They reference Batman, Superman, and Flash, which are all characters that James Gunn wants to have in his DCU.
Yeah, he's not going to leave out them, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. But it doesn't reference events from movies starring those characters from the DCEU. It simply just references Batman, Superman, The Flash.
Yeah. Like, hey, Batman's a fascist. It's not like, oh, remember Batman and Batman vs. Superman and that happened, all that happened? That was crazy, man. Batman was crazy in that. Or remember when Superman was evil for a minute?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was crazy. No.
They don't reference that.
Yeah. It's more like, yeah, Superman exists, Batman exists,
Yeah.
But nothing beyond that, which is good.
Yeah, and we'll find out. I mean, we'll find out how well this movie connects to the DCU based on how they portray those characters, because we know that they're supposed to be younger. Superman specifically is supposed to be younger.
Yeah.
How long has he been Superman? He's obviously been Superman long enough to be referenced in this movie.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll see how well it fits. I, for one, don't see how it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It definitely fits in either. It feels like they definitely played it so safe that it could either go either way, you know? But no, definitely go see it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. And it deserves your support.
Absolutely. And I cannot wait to see Zolo as Blue Beetle and whenever he returns.
Yeah. He was great.
And yeah, he truly was a young, fresh face to be excited about, I think, in the superhero genre. just something to give us, literally something to get excited about.
Yeah.
It is just a new young superhero, good movie. Can't wait for where he comes up next in the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can hop into our recommendations now.
Let's get it.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and start. I only have I have a movie and I've started a show, one that everyone has seen but me. My first recommendation is The Hangover. It's just a simple recommendation. It's just a fun comedy, hilarious. Zach Galifianakis is I forget how talented he is in every sense of the word because he's a great dramatic actor in like Birdman, great in Birdman. And when he does these like stupid roles where he's just playing this idiot, it's perfect. He's so good. He's hilarious. Oh my God, the scene that I think of immediately is when they do the deal with Ken Jeong's character out in the desert. And when it's over,
it's one of the funniest scenes ever, bro. Ken Jeong getting out of the trunk I'm not even joking. That was so funny, bro.
Oh, that scene, yeah.
That scene was hilarious.
Okay, so I'm talking about the scene when they actually do the deal. They try to get Doug back, their friend that went missing. Yeah. But that also is great. That's one of the funniest scenes ever. The scene that I'm talking about is when the deal falls through and it wasn't what they thought it was. Yeah. And when Ken Jeong and his guys drive off. I almost said Brad Pitt. Bradley Cooper. He's like, God damn it, shit, and Zach Galifianakis mimics him, but he goes, gosh darn it, and he kicks the sand. He goes, shoot. He's like a little kid. He's perfectly like a little kid in this movie. But it's simply, I mean, there's not much else to say. It's very well shot. It's a very well shot. I mean, it's Todd Phillips who surprised everyone with Joker, Yeah. The guy that did The Hangover, really? Gonna do Joker. It's just a lot of fun. Just one of the great comedy. I highly recommend it. It's just simply like a great premise of like bachelor party in Vegas gone wrong. Yeah. My only issue is that I think it could have been amped up. I think there could have been more that went wrong.
Yeah.
And Ken Jeong, it's not like the stereotype doesn't offend me. I mean, it's obviously satirical that Ken Jeong is being a satirical Asian type character.
Yeah.
It's just personally not funny. It's just not like comedic. I see that it is humorous. Yeah. It is funny, but I myself am like, it's overdone.
Yeah.
And especially Ken Jeong. Ken Jeong is kind of overdone in general because every single one of his characters is like stereotypically Asian.
Yeah.
And even in like Community, which is the thing that he's like really known for, he's great in Community. He's hilarious, but a lot of it is just him being like stereotypically Asian.
Yeah.
But one of the best jokes about that is that he is Asian and he's the Spanish teacher. And so it's kind of I'm your Spanish teacher, Senior Chang is the joke. It's like, but no, The Hangover. Just a fun time. Just great, raunchy, fun time.
Awesome. So, I got another fun, raunchy time for you.
Okay.
Got Horrible Bosses.
I thought that's what you were gonna say. Yeah.
Horrible Bosses. It's a pretty good comedy film. We got Jason Sudeikis. We got Charlie Day. We got Jason Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
We got Colin Farrell. We got Kevin Spacey. Question mark.
yeah, definitely Horrible Bosses.
Got Jennifer Aniston. There's some players in this movie, some big names.
Yeah,
and it's kind of not. I wouldn't say it's similar to The Hangover in terms of like the quality or anything, but it's definitely similar in terms of how you describe The Hangover. As in, it's a fun time. It's okay. I think it's, at least from my memory of it, it's less funny than The Hangover. Definitely, I mean, Horrible. There were good bits and stuff. I found Charlie Day to be probably the most funny.
Oh my god, that's like with everything that he's in. He's always like the funniest part.
Like I thought that Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis, and Charlie Day, they all had like a good synergy going.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely felt like Charlie Day was the one that was like putting in the most legwork for a lot of the actual like really funny scenes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
that's just how I felt. Kevin Spacey is also really good at playing a terrible person, like a comedically horrible person,
Yeah.
which I know is obviously super funny because he's a horrible person.
I didn't realize how many bad people he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like they knew, you know? It's almost like they were like, we know what.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
But no, he's such a bad person that it's funny. It actually is funny how like shitty of a person he is. And this movie just embraces it too. It's like they don't try to, there's nothing. He is terrible. And it's just
there's no redeeming quality at all.
So the main thing is that they're three guys that are fed up with their bosses and attempt, to kill them or do kill them, depending on who it is. And Kevin Spacey is kind of like he's like out of every, like in terms of the bossing scenes, he's the boss that like people probably actually work with. So there's the three main things about the different bosses, I guess, is Jennifer Aniston sexually harasses Charlie Day as a dentist, and he's like a dentist assistant or whatever, and she's like always trying to get his penis essentially.
Dang.
And she's essentially sexually harassing him. She does wild stuff to do it.
I wish Jennifer Aniston would sexually harass me.
And then
sexual harassment is not a joke.
No, the crazy thing is though is when Charlie Day talks to him, like he's like, guys, man, I know we all have terrible jobs, man. I hate our work experiences, man. Jennifer Aniston, she's always trying to sleep with me. And then the other two guys are like, yeah, man, you suck. Your problem is nothing. I was like, dang, that's funny, but at the same time, that's low key like how it would be if like a dude came to his friend group and was like, yeah, man, I have this hot woman boss who's trying to sexually assault me. Yeah, bro, no one feels bad for
Oh, yeah. The world's smallest violin.
Yeah. And then you have Colin Farrell, who he has a very minute role. It feels kind of underutilized with how small his role is.
Yeah.
With how big of an actor Colin Farrell is.
Yeah, he's Colin Farrell.
But his makeup is so funny because he's like balding. And he has like a receding hairline. And he's just like this like Nepo baby like dork. That he gets like the key to the company that he like is like not qualified to at all or anything. It was gonna go to Jason Sudeikis' character, but it went to him instead because he's the son and stuff.
Yeah,
but he's like obviously like a screw up and stuff like that, and he doesn't care. It's funny. It's a good time. Yeah. I mean, that's really it. It's pretty funny and it's a good time.
Yeah,
that's really all there is to it.
Well. So my only other recommendation, it'll be a periodic thing where I come back to it because it's another show, but I'm gonna start doing it kind of how you were doing it with like The Bear and Succession. You were doing it like season by season, and I really like how you kind of did that because at the end of Barry, when I finally talked about it, it kind of sucks because I kind of forgot a lot that happened in Barry, and Barry's so good, and I wish I had more to say about it, but when I had talked about it, I kind of lost a lot of what had happened.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to be starting doing season by season, starting with Breaking Bad. Wow. Now, I already know a lot that happens in this show.
Yeah.
However, I've never seen how it's executed, which is like what makes it so good.
It's a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah. And season 1, which is highly regarded, I believe, as like the weakest season.
I think so. I think a lot of people would say that it's the weakest season.
It's a 10 out of 10.
It is a really good season.
I mean, the first season, considered the weakest season, is like a 9, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's incredible. The chemistry, literally and figuratively, with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul is so good.
Yeah.
They work so well together, and I cannot believe that their original plan was to kill off Jesse at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So happy they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Would have been the biggest mistake of the entire show.
Yeah.
It would have made this the best season.
Bro,
yeah.
All I'm saying is you're saying that now. Like after season 1. Imagine multiple seasons of like this character Jesse, where he goes and stuff. He could have been dead. He could have been dead in season 1 and been like, no, none of that happened.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. it's crazy where they take Jesse as a character. It honestly is.
And I already know how crazy it gets just because I know some stuff that happens in El Camino,
the
movie, which is supposed to be like his entire like how like Walt like fucked him up basically.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I didn't realize how their relationship started. So the fact that it literally is Walt being like, "Hey Jesse, we should partner up and do this really, really, really illegal thing," and I'm gonna blame you for a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's what makes Walt such a good character. And I've already noticed it. It's already so obvious how good of a character he is because he seems, you know, how Hank views him, which is like not a man. You know, he's very he takes a step back when he's in a big group setting. He's very unnoticeable.
Yeah.
And his personality, you would think, is probably pretty meek. He's probably a really nice guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I think for the most part in this first season, in the first few episodes, he is clearly like a nice guy. He's clearly got good intentions on everything.
Yeah.
But the way that he is clearly, he puts every problem that happens on other people. He doesn't take responsibility at all when he is the mastermind behind everything. Is like a beautiful, like a beautifully terrible character trait.
A beautiful flaw. Yeah.
A beautiful flaw. Yeah. And I know it's not technically the moment. I there's like the big meme that everyone's like, this is the moment he became Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Well, the moment that is like kind of the like act like the technical moment when he becomes Heisenberg, when he throws the thing on the ground and he's talking to Tuco, he's like, I'm Heisenberg.
Yeah.
That moment is a lot of fun, but I'm excited to find my own moment of when it's like he becomes Heisenberg, because I'm pretty sure the fun thing about it, as far as I know, is like there are multiple moments when you can kind of be like, this is when he becomes Heisenberg.
Yeah, that's the thing is with the meme is that there are kind of multiple moments in Breaking Bad where you could argue that, oh, this is where which by the way, him becoming Heisenberg is kind of, it's meant to be him like losing his humanity kind of, and him fully embracing Heisenberg, that kind of other persona of the drug chemist and drug dealer Walt, that does anything and everything and stuff like that. It's definitely like his ego and stuff at play, the big like, flaws and stuff.
Right.
That's his flaw, is his ego.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah. And I mean, they set it up perfectly though, because like the sympathetic thing about him is that he loves chemistry and he's teaching all these idiot kids that just don't care.
Yeah.
And it makes me like, dang, my chemistry teacher could have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know it.
He actually was he seemed like a really into it kind of teacher.
Yeah.
And the kids were just like, nah, man.
Yeah. Arguably, the moment he becomes Heisenberg is the moment he finds out he has cancer.
Yeah.
That's arguably the moment. Because
bro, you can already do it in season 1 with the moment.
First episode.
Yeah.
The first episode you can
literally.
argue it. Another thing I realized is a lot of people hate on Skylar. She's the worst character in the show, like just in general. Like she's just like not like,
she's very
hateable.
Yeah, she's definitely not. She doesn't have a renowned opinion.
And right. And in the first episode, I was like, I don't hate this character. Second episode, I was like, I fucking hate this character. And it happened. Like second episode is already she's terrible. And at the end of by the end of the season, I'm like, yeah, she's the worst character.
To me, it's like.
She's very selfish.
Yeah. So to me, it's like I kind of don't like not liking Skylar. Like I kind of wish I liked Skylar.
Yeah,
because she is like the she's like the wife of like the mob boss. She's like she's like the wife of Tony Soprano or something.
Mm-hmm.
This big like guy that is like doing illegal things and stuff like that and putting their family in like jeopardy and danger and stuff like that. And she does nothing wrong in that sense. She is a victim of whatever that mafia boss, aka Walt in this sense, is doing. And that's nothing to hate her for or anything like that at all. But she is so unlikable. She is very unlikable, and she has very selfish scenes a lot. And she does, and she obviously she does nothing wrong in that sense. She is a victim of whatever that mafia boss, aka Walt in this sense, is doing. And that's nothing to hate her for or anything like that at all. But she is so unlikable. She is very unlikable, and she has very selfish scenes a lot. And and like Walt, she like rarely ever takes responsibility or anything like that
Yeah.
for what she does actually do. Now, obviously, that doesn't compare to Walt not taking responsibility for, I don't know, killing somebody or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of different. But at the same time, it's not the same severity. But for Walt, that's like in play with his character. For Skylar, it almost seems like that's not what they're going for.
Yeah.
For like the audience viewing her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's she's very unlikable.
She's a polarizing character for sure.
She's very I can see that. Hank is an idiot for not realizing. I mean, I know that the moment that he actually does find out.
Yeah.
But already I'm like, yeah, this is obvious.
The moment the moment he does find out is like, it is kind of golden because of the setting and kind of everything around it.
Watching it build up to that, you know? Yeah.
But they definitely had to. They love making the, like, whenever Walt and Hank are in a scene together, they love going like, Hank's like, oh, I really need to catch this Heisenberg guy. Walt's like, yeah, that guy's pretty smart. I don't know who that could be. You know, it's just like, okay.
He literally is like telling him that it's like him basically.
Yeah.
I can't believe that because he knows Walt is like really. You know, he knows chemistry. Yeah. He knows that he is as good as he is with chemistry. And when he finds out that the stuff that they used to make the meth was taken from his lab, I just would have been like, you're a horrible detective. You're a terrible detective.
That felt, in my opinion, like the most like kind of like, okay, he definitely should have pushed Walt a little bit more there for like information and stuff like that. Because what do you mean you're just missing lab equipment that would coincidentally be the stuff that people would cook methamphetamine with? Like, what? You know, I don't. That doesn't really stack up.
It doesn't.
I remember that moment because I was like, I don't know about that one.
But I mean, it does show like how like
Hank is dense.
Hank is very dense and views like his like. You're not a man, you know. Doesn't view him as a man, you know.
That one, I think it's in the first episode. They're at like a party or something, and everyone's like watching something on a TV.
He watches it's the scene where he literally watches how much money meth makes.
Oh yeah, and Hank, Hank in that scene is literally just like shitting on Walt the entire time in front of everybody. He's like, what a pussy, Walt. I'm like that. Hank is kind of unlikable too, just because of his kind of demeanor around like he is that like he's that dad that no one likes really. He's making like not kind of racist jokes like towards his Mexican coworker, his coworker, or you know like just doing like kind of just what's the word for it? Not stuff that isn't really that socially acceptable anymore. Like just smacking a woman's ass like as she's walking by or something. Or yeah, look at the ass on that woman there walking. What are you talking?
It is like a very unlikable trait, but that line when he goes when he says that woman's got an ass like an onion. It makes me want to cry. That's one of the funniest delivered lines ever. I love that line. But yes, like his like behavior towards like women is very terrible.
It's just like
that scene when he takes Walt Jr. to the meth head like motel.
Yeah.
And like everyone that lives there is a druggie and stuff. And he like just like humiliates this woman.
Oh yeah.
Because she like made poor life decisions.
Yeah.
Just straight up treats her like a piece of shit.
Like he doesn't even treat her like a person if I remember that scene.
Not
correctly.
at all.
It's
Not
literally like look at this thing over here. Let's laugh at the zoo animal.
Exactly.
Like what?
Like literally he's like, show us your teeth. Give us that pearly yellows or whatever. And her teeth are like objectively disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he is treating her like a thing and not a person and having sympathy for her situation.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. She probably got herself in this situation. She got herself to where she is. But to like make someone feel like awful about they probably already hate themselves.
Oh yeah.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, you don't need to make jest or whatever of someone else's like downfall or anything. Especially someone who is literally like they've lost, like they are at the bottom of the barrel type stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, man, look at this. Don't do this with your life, Walt.
Yeah.
Bro, there's other ways to show kids that.
Yeah.
You know, to not make poor life decisions. Maybe just install that into them when they're, younger.
Yeah.
Hey, don't make stupid decisions.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is what a stupid decision is.
Yeah.
Don't do it. You don't have to. He's over the top, in my opinion.
He is. He's over the top, but not in from a film standpoint,
Yeah.
of like a
performance,
performance.
yeah.
But like as a person,
As
he's
a
over the
person,
top.
yeah.
And then the only other thing that I have to say about Breaking Bad is it really makes meth look like a lot of fun. It really makes cooking meth look like a lot of fun, and that's probably the worst thing about it. Because they're like playing like a fun song over them, like making meth and like making crystals and stuff.
Look at this cool scene.
Yeah,
they're pour, bro. When they have you seen the shot where it's like underneath
when it's under the counter
and they're pouring the meth into it. They do that a couple of times, like throughout
when
the
they're
show.
mopping up the floor from the dead guy, and crazy fucking scene. But when they're mopping that up and it's under the floor, like a window almost.
Yeah,
awesome,
bro. The cinematography and like the camera work,
it's fantastic.
it's some great.
It's
stuff.
fantastic.
You'll see it throughout all of Breaking Bad, and if you watch Better Call Saul too, it's prevalent in Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
It's really nice camera work.
I would say that Barry is a show that really has about the same amount of like good cinematography and camera work. It's very well. I mean, Barry and Breaking Bad are very comparable, but even as of now, I already think Breaking Bad is better. Barry had some moments that were like all the way up until season 4. I thought the show was pretty perfect. And the season 4 does something that I personally am not a huge fan of, but it doesn't affect the story. It is like necessary for the story, but I just personally don't care for it.
Yeah.
And it kind of drops it a number.
Yeah.
But Barry is a 9 out of 10 show for me.
Yeah.
But Breaking Bad is already topping that.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I really found interesting about Breaking Bad is how they use the colors of like the clothes that people wear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes you'll see Walt wearing like green.
Yes.
And the most prevalent one is definitely Hank's wife, Marie.
Very like maroon.
She's always in like purple.
Yeah.
She's always in some type of purple.
Like a dark red or purple kind of. Yeah.
And there are like, good reasons and stuff for why it's called color theory or whatever, that each color like represents like whatever kind of, like how it represents different things. Like purple was like the one that I remember the most, I think, is purple represents like royalty and stuff like that. And Marie like kind of thinks highly of herself. She's in this like ivory tower basically in her mind. And she is royalty in that sense to herself.
Yes.
Obviously, we know that she's just a wife to a police officer. Nothing really ivory tower about it. But that's how she views herself, and that's how she compares herself to other people and stuff like that. And just cool stuff like that of like just a little thing like clothes kind of having some semblance and meaning.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff like that.
And
it's
like
cool.
Walt... green fits his character, greed. I mean, he obviously needs the money, but he is so greedy that he is literally... I think he makes more money than he already needs in like this first season.
I want to say... like the cap or whatever that he needed, I think he does.
I believe they say that the doctor that they got for his chemo and stuff, overall it'll probably end up being about $90,000. And I think at the end of the season, he has over $90,000 already.
Which also another thing I wanted to kind of get your opinion on too is that it's kind of about Walt's character. Is that I think in the first episode it's revealed that he actually turns down his old like colleague's offer to pay for his cancer treatments. Yeah, that's a kind of a big moment in terms of his because he literally a whole basis of the show is that he starts cooking meth. He starts cooking meth to get money for his cancer, right?
Yeah, but it's more.
We already know that that's probably a falsehood at the beginning of the show because. Why did you turn down their money if it was just for, if you're purely wanting to get the money for your cancer treatment? Yeah. It's counterintuitive to turn down their offer. Yeah. And then people, obviously, you would retort with saying that, oh, well, he specifically didn't like the people it was coming from because he was cut out or whatever of this business and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. And that's kind of his ego. That's where his ego comes in, is that his ego's too big to push that aside to accept, money that he needs.
Right.
Instead, let me go cook meth and, get money in this bizarre way.
Yeah, very like illegal, bizarre way.
Yeah.
And it's another thing though. It makes more sense because, yes, his ego obviously, but also because he's very undermined.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks he can do anything other than what he's already doing. You know, and he loves chemistry.
Yeah.
And chemistry is badass in this show. Like I love chemistry.
Superpowers,
basically. It is, yeah. And I think it's very obvious that the reason he loves doing meth so much is he's getting appreciation for his chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean that's easily the baseline of why he does it.
Yeah.
Is because he is a school teacher and nobody at home and at work appreciates his ability in his art.
Yeah.
And finally he has found people that do, but there's a very good chance that everyone will die, he will die.
Yeah. I mean, literally he's creating a substance that at some point will kill somebody,
Yeah.
Depending on how much they, use of it and stuff at some point. And regardless, it's a very addictive substance as well. So he's definitely
it's like the most.
He's definitely contributing to, obviously no one's forcing someone to buy meth. This is kind of a whole different topic, but no one's forcing anyone to buy it. But even still, he is supplying it. He is making it. So he's not exempt of any blame from that regard.
Yes.
And but it is very interesting that like from the beginning of the show, I need the money for my cancer treatments and stuff. No, you don't. You don't. You could have already had that. And like you said, he has it basically by the end of the first season already. So he could have, know what? I got my money. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think what you really find out is that it's definitely not about the money for Walton. Like you said, it's more about something inside that he gets from doing this.
The gratification.
Yeah.
And the appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Already love the show.
Yeah.
I'm probably right after this, I'm going to start season 2.
I can't wait to keep hearing like your your week to week kind of reviews of it and stuff. Can't wait for it. Up next, I got another kind of keep it light, I guess, for now. We got another comedy movie, I Love You, Man.
That's a good one.
Has Paul Rudd, Jason Segel, and Rashida Jones in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool little bromance movie. So I think one of the funniest things about the movie is it's like a bromance movie that's directly played as like a romance movie.
Yeah.
So it's like it leans into like the romantic side of bromance.
Yeah, which is great about it.
So like Paul Rudd's character is an aging. He's not aging, but he's like a
Paul Rudd is never aging.
Yeah, he's getting ready to get married, right?
Yeah.
And he's basically realizing that his wife has way more female friends than he has male friends, and that he has more female friends than he has male friends.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he's never really been good at making male friends. And this is the big part of the movie is the awkwardness around particular adult men making friends with other adult men. It can be it shows the awkwardness, and it shows the struggle that can have, and that can be it. And it does this by like having like a speed dating montage, where obviously that's something you would see in a romance movie, something where like this girl goes through a speed dating of multiple different guys and they're all not it, or vice versa for a guy with girls,
Yeah.
Except this time it's obviously a dude looking for a platonic like bro to hang out with, but it's played like it's a speed dating kind of thing.
Right.
And some of them actually are. He meets a couple gay guys and stuff, pretty cool stuff in there too.
Yeah.
But it's still, and his relationship as Jason Segel is played as like a well, I mean, it is a relationship, but as like a romantic relationship. It plays off that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it is a really fun movie. I think that I like it more than Horrible Bosses, I think, because it has Horrible Bosses is like, oh yeah, workers are great, bosses suck.
Yeah.
That's cool. I agree with that. Bosses can really suck.
Yeah.
Workers can really rock.
Right.
But this movie has more something that you can relate to, I feel like.
Yeah.
More the struggle, and even like just making adult friends in general can be weird, especially like, making new adult friends. You're not getting introduced through somebody or something. You're it's just a complete stranger. You don't maybe you don't have any relationship at all, and you're having a conversation with them, and in turn learning to be like more comfortable around them and yourself. Like a big thing with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel's relationship is that Jason Segel gets Paul Rudd to open up more about like being himself, like farting and stuff in front of his friends and stuff, or talking about like masturbation and stuff like that. Having a guy friend to talk about guy things with, and it shows the importance of that as well, because can't be a guy only talking to girls about guy things that they're not gonna understand. They're women. They're not men, obviously. And not saying that you only need male friends or you only need women friends, because that's definitely not the point the movie's making.
No, yeah.
Definitely shows that there's a good balance to be had.
It is. The point of the movie is kind of to show that you kind of need both.
Yeah.
It is, and I am of that opinion. I work with a bunch of dudes, and it's actually the first time that I've ever worked with purely men. Yeah. I've worked in the past at my other jobs. I have worked with mainly women and maybe a dude here and there thrown in, but mainly I've been the only guy. Yeah. And it's at this point, it would be very refreshing to work with a group of women, because somebody logical. It'd be nice to have somebody logical to hang around with all day.
Yeah.
But it is that sense of like, you need both. You need. I've got guy friends as a guy. Guy friends very much represent the kind of silliness and like just dumb stuff all around. And then having a lot of female friends as a guy is like much more sophisticated and real conversation, but also not like boring. It's also like fun and lighthearted, but you're just more logical. Yeah. So that's kind of how I view it, and it's very important to have both. I think both kinds of friends.
It definitely shows the value of having both, and it just a good movie all around. Pretty funny time. Yeah. And a lot of the movie is really just Jason Segel and Paul Rudd just duding it up. Yeah. Just duding out, rocking out, doing whatever basically, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty fun, and I mean it achieves what it's going out for sure.
Yeah. And this the movie wouldn't even exist today if they had Reddit, because then he would just go on a Rush Reddit page and be like, "Yo, you like Rush? Yeah, the greatest band of all time." Which arguably they are one of the greatest bands of all time. So.
But no, that was definitely a good watch, good fun watch to have. Next up, I got 300: Rise of the Empire, which is a direct sequel to Zack Snyder's 300 movie, the kind of Greek like historical epic kind of movie. Okay. This movie is this one's pretty. I can keep pretty short and brief. It's everything bad with 300 personified and like pushed to the forefront of the movie. And my thing is like, the thing with the first 300 movie is it's a Zack Snyder film that it looks pretty good, like cinematography wise and stuff. Sure, there is too much blood, and that is a problem in this movie as well. But at least what you're seeing for the most part looks good. Mm-hmm. And this movie's problem is that it's not directed by Zack Snyder. It does not look good. Yeah. The visual effects are bad. The blood, they use buckets of blood. Overly use way too much blood. Mm-hmm. That's just a big thing. And it's CGI blood at that. Oh. So they overly use these just like big blobs of just clear CGI redness. I'm just like, what is this? Yeah. Like this, it's so cartoonish in how much blood there actually is. Yeah. And some of the battle scenes are literally just, you can't even tell what the choreography is, because it's just blood splattering everywhere and flying and blocking things in view. I don't know. I have a big problem with the blood in the movie. It was not really good. But even like the story, it's just like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. They have like the main antagonist that they set up in the first one, the God King or whatever for the Persian Empire. He's like kind of bitched in this movie by Ava Green, who's like she's like the badass woman. Yeah. That's evil, you know? Yeah. And she's cool. She's definitely the best part of the movie, absolutely. But why does she dwarf the God King that was built up in the last movie? And they show the backstory of in this movie. They're like, yeah, he went through this rigorous journey to become this god king. Look at him, he's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, Ava Green bitches him for the rest of the movie. Like, okay, that's cool. But this movie, keeping it short, this movie truly is nonsense. It is nonsense. It is noise and nonsense action just flying around.
Mm-hmm.
There's even like some worthless sex scenes too that are just bad.
Okay.
They are just bad. And
Just to have a sex scene.
yeah, just more so just to see like a naked woman. Just to to have like a naked woman on the screen. This is a movie where they will have naked women on the screen, like no matter what.
Yeah.
There's scenes where it's like, okay, that woman's breasts could have probably been inside of her clothes.
Yeah.
No, they're just out for whatever reason.
For whatever, yeah.
Like, okay.
I love when movie creators do that, is because you can really tell when somebody has never had sex. You know? It's like I've never had sex, so I have to put like all boobs.
Everyone has their titties out.
Yeah, all their boobies are out.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, man. Like,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll move on from that one. That one, it was rough. It was rough. Anyways, the next movie I got is The Privileged.
Okay.
This was an interesting movie because I got on the Letterboxd page and there are basically like no reviews for the film. Like,
wow.
I went on like the reviews and they were all in like single digits or double digits maybe.
Wow.
Like I think the most that one of the stars had was like 18, I think. For the most, yeah. And there were some that had like 7, 6. So it's definitely not popular movie. And you tell while watching the movie, this feels like someone's first feature film.
Okay.
It is someone's first feature film. And it feels like someone's first feature film. It really does. It's convoluted. There's a lot going on, but also there's like it's hard to explain. So there's like a lot going on in like the actual plot of the movie, but the story, like what the movie actually has to say, is nothing. It is the whole like the privileged title is about rich people. And it's like a horror film kind of, and it's like the story is literally just rich people bad. That's all it is, and the rich people are bad because they can be bad.
Yeah, because they have money.
Yeah, there's no reason or anything, no motive. It's just they're bad, they're evil because money, and I don't know. It's like okay, I guess. Like I mean, sure, I'm not particularly fond of rich people either.
Yeah, yeah,
but. I don't know, the movie doesn't do anything else besides just make you hate rich people.
Yeah.
And the like scary scenes aren't scary. And I don't know. And there's this one like explosion towards the end of the movie that I feel like got like 90% of the budget for some reason. Like it was like it was kind of like a big explosion, and it feels like almost all the budget was for this like end explosion that was supposed to be like, wow, look at this big thing. And it's a decent explosion, but like there are some like guns and stuff in the movie where people get shot, and there's no gun flash, there's no muzzle flash or anything like that. So it's like, and there's no flash, so the gun just like moves off instinct, and then someone gets shot, and it's just like, oh yeah, they fall down, and there's no blood like coming out or anything. You don't even really see a wound. It's like, I don't know. It feels like someone's first feature film. It really does. I'm not gonna be too harsh on it because it really does. It feels like a student film or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not. It's like the thrilling sequences aren't placed together very, very well. Like it doesn't really entice the thrill from me. I don't feel anxious for what's coming next or anything like that. And it has nothing to say. It really just has nothing to say. So it just didn't really strike me as that entertaining.
Yeah.
I ended up giving it 1 star on Letterboxd, 2 out of 10 I think on the Instagram. Not much to talk about. It's just not very entertaining. Anyway, complete opposite side of that, I have my first David Lynch film I watched, which was Blue Velvet. This was it came out in 1985, I believe, or 86. It's an 80s movie. Yeah, 86. And it is it's a lot. I feel like this will probably be a growing trend with David Lynch movies, but they are pieces of they are definitely something to think about for sure, because Blue Velvet in particular is like its story is basically showcasing the straight up strangeness and bizarreness that is like humanity and stuff, and like some of the like just how crazy and cynical we as humans can be and stuff, like just like the absolute bonkers people of the world and stuff like that.
Right.
The most crazy people are kind of like referenced in this film and stuff like that, or used in the film directly. And the character's lead protagonist is like he's like a suburbs kid who is like drawn in by his curiosity to like crime and stuff to a specific kind of crime that happened that is like needed, a mystery crime that like that needs to be solved in like his local area and stuff. He finds himself like his curiosity like he finds himself like pulling towards it, and he ends up getting it like in too deep, basically into this like crime kind of that he probably shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
But what this does is it's basically a suburban kid who has never really, he's been kind of sheltered from the like true like bizarreness and craziness that is the world, that he goes through it and experiences it through this like curiosity that he ends up having for this crime. He meets different people and stuff like that that showcase to him the craziness of the world and stuff like that. He meets a specific woman who, without spoiling too much, she is not in the best place in her life. She's very mentally ill and has various problems and stuff with her life, and is we'll say in business with the wrong people. And he kind of, his curiosity and kind of kindness, I guess, towards her is kind of what ends up like delving him down this like rabbit hole of strangeness and weirdness. But it's also her who kind of opens up his like mind to that weirdness of humanity and stuff like that through a very like intense kind of sex scene that they have together. And it's a very bizarre scene because it's some crazy things. So the like sexually it tries to display like the weirdness and craziness of humanity through in the sex scene by having like masochist and kind of I forget the word, but basically the not prototypical sexual things, not things that normal people are attracted to in sex and stuff like that. Things like hitting your girl and stuff like that, like smacking her around and stuff, or belittling her and stuff like things people would mostly consider weird, right? And that's kind of shown through sex, and it's also shown through like the multi kind of different ways, through crime, through people's sexual pleasures, through literally anything, down to the intro of the movie is literally like, here's some flowers. This is how nice and beautiful humans can be. And then let's cut down to some creepy crawly bugs crawling around underground. This is how bad and ugly humanity can be, That's like the intro, and that's kind of, it's supposed to be like a visual metaphor for like what the whole strangeness of humanity. Like, oh, pretty flowers, humans can be this, and they can also be, ugly and disgusting and stuff like that. And it shows those diametrically like opposite people in this movie as well. Like, there are the suburb people who are sheltered their whole lives from the absolute strangeness of the world, and so they are relatively normal people, and they're just they are the flowers, they're just pretty people. And then there are the people that do experience that and are the ugly people and stuff like that. They are the people who've experienced that more real side of humanity, the truth, if you would, or I guess not truth, but the more true side to humanity. Not the mask, not the nice mask you put up, but the actual who you are and stuff like that underneath, your true self. And I think that's also shown through corrupt police officers as well. Because a corrupt police officer is obviously like, oh, I'm going to put on this nice mask for everyone else and my family, huh? And then, when you actually are, alone or whatever, or with, whoever you're doing shady deals with and stuff, you're your true self, a disgusting person and stuff like that. And it goes that way for many different, like, criminals. There's this one guy specifically, Dennis Hopper, who plays he plays a very disturbed character.
Okay.
I don't want to reveal it because it's so strange that when you see the movie, like, him doing it is just crazy. But he puts this it's like an air mask kind of thing on, where you some that people would put on, like, breathe better, right?
Okay,
yeah, and that is not helping him breathe better. That's all I'm gonna say. It is very strange, very weird. He is disturbing.
Okay.
David Lynch is disturbing. The director, David Lynch.
Yeah.
He needs a hug or something.
He's very disturbed.
And that's the thing about this movie, is it feels very cynical. It feels very, humans are terrible.
Yeah.
We suck. And yeah. And it feels like a cesspool of that almost. But then towards the end, I feel like you're given just enough, like, optimism to where it's kind of like, well, not everything's like that. It's not all, dirty and ugly and stuff like that. There are the little moments that you can enjoy and stuff in life. And obviously the just non-weird, non-ugly moments and stuff like that in life in general. And he doesn't neglect those. I think that's the important thing. It's not all purely cynical.
Right.
But yeah, I found this to be a pretty phenomenal film. The way it was shot and framed, it is very abstract, very stylistic. You definitely see David Lynch's style in the filmmaking, and the camera work is also very fluid and very, very nice.
Wow.
Some good technical stuff there. I think in terms of a thriller kind of crime drama, it's a very good movie, very compelling. I gave it a 9 out of 10 on my Instagram, 4.5 on Letterboxd. It's a very good movie. I definitely recommend.
Nice.
And I will be watching more David Lynch to come. Next up is a big movie for me, Fargo.
Yeah.
From the Coen brothers.
When I saw that you watched this, it was hilarious because I was like, I actually was probably going to watch it in the moment that you were going to watch it, but I had just decided not to.
Wow. But no, it's a great movie. Like this. So Fargo it's a crime. So it's a real life. It's based off a true story that happened, like, in real life, Minnesota and stuff like that. And I think what's so compelling about this movie is that it's an interesting crime thriller movie set in possibly the most boring place in the world. Yeah. And it is truly like, oh, something exciting or something different is happening in this small town. And I think that's where a lot of the unexpected, like, comedy of this movie comes in, is that it's these, like, regular, everyday, like, just regular Minnesotan people with their hello, how you doing? Their little Minnesota accents.
Yeah, Minnesota.
I'm from Minnesota. And it's just kind of cute, and seeing, like, how they are, like, so shell shocked by, like, what, this big crime's happening in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't imagine that. Like, it's like it's very charming in how, like, it's actually, so the crime itself is tragic because people die unnecessary deaths and stuff like that. But the humor and stuff is that these, like, residents and stuff are completely unexpecting, of this big crime to happen. They don't know how to help you or anything with going searching for the crime or what to look for or anything, because they never dealt with that. There's no one that they could ever think of would do anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's so interesting, I think, about, like, the simpleness of the people and of, like, the setting of the movie and stuff.
Right.
And putting that interesting crime in there. You know what I mean? Which obviously you're not putting it in there. It happened in real life, but still, the story-wise, you're putting an interesting crime in an uninteresting area.
Yeah.
And you're having that affect you're having that crime have an effect on the people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a very good, very compelling movie. I really love how the Coen brothers stitch together like serious, like intense thriller moments while also those like lighthearted comedy moments. It has some like Parasite moments in it almost, where it feels like a scene transitions from like, oh yeah, ha ha, comedy, thriller.
Yeah.
This is getting
Yeah.
pretty thrilling. Like, okay, what's happening? And it kind of does that thing where like the camera, like they're making like it's a funny scene, and then like the camera like stays when everyone like leaves the scene. The camera stays, and then it might just like do like a slow pan, and then the music kind of gets a little more unsettling. And stuff. It's a really nice transition into those from that, that lighthearted to that seriousness, and it does bring you into that moment a lot more. I think who dominates this movie is Frances McDormand, the lead character, who plays a hero. She literally plays a hero. It's actually crazy because she plays like this kind of like a slightly overweight, like middle-aged married woman to this like married guy. They're like the happiest couple you could think of. Like, they wake up every morning, eat breakfast together. He kisses her goodbye when she goes off to work, and they meet each other after, and it's just a rinse and repeat of that every day. And that's what makes them happy, and that's what fulfills them. That's what gives them substance in their life. That's what makes them happy. And it's just so cute. It's so cute seeing these like simple people. And then she's getting on her like police stuff and everything. Oh, I gotta go to work, honey.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. Just the simplism of it, and the fact that she like, oh yeah, she's just like this. She's literally just a mom. She could be like, well, I don't think she's actually a mom, but she feels like a mom.
Yeah.
And she literally, and she's like this hero who's like on the crime, investigating, putting things together. Literally being the main one solving this crime.
Yeah.
Putting pieces together, showing her intelligence, showing her, experience in the field, and being just a simple character. She's not doing this for any like big, popularity or anything. She's just doing this because it's her job.
Right.
She wants to go home to her husband.
Yeah.
She wants to watch a documentary on birds before they go to bed or something.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be out here doing this, but she does because it's her job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes her a hero, because she doesn't have to be, she doesn't have to be the one doing it. She doesn't have to be the one actively doing this or anything, and she doesn't want to be, but she is because that's her job.
That's her job, yeah.
And that's, she wants to keep people safe, keep her town safe in particular.
Yeah.
The town that she knows, the town that she loves, the people she knows, the people she loves.
Isn't the town called Fargo?
Fargo, yeah. The town's called Fargo. And it's just, I don't know, I felt that she was so heroic, and especially since this was a real person.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh yeah, this is a Frances McDormand. No, this was a real life person who did this, and I'm assuming who, by all accounts, acted this way and stuff like that. And that's just so, I don't know. It just warms my heart that a movie about such a simple real life person was really like conveyed the heroism and the acts and stuff that she was doing and going out there and stuff, pursuing this crime. I extremely loved Frances McDormand's portrayal of the character and stuff like that. I thought it was really, really perfect.
It's very inspiring.
Very, yes. William H. Macy, who plays Jerry, he's kind of like he's like, not spoiling too much, he's kind of like the reasoning behind why the crime happens.
Okay.
It's more of like a string of crimes, like multiple crimes happen. And he's like the reasoning behind all of it. But he doesn't, it's so weird, because so he's like a Walter White, but like without any of like the sympathetic qualities that had, like, imagine if Walter White was truly 100% of the time just like a whiny just like a whiny toddler who's just like, oh, I didn't get my way.
Oh yeah, that would be terrible.
And he literally, so it's like Walter, he is literally kind of the cause of his own destruction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has no sympathetic qualities. He is truly just, I want to punch him in the face every time he says something. Like it's how crybaby it is at some points.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't feel anything for you. You're not supposed to, because he's definitely not meant to be like a good sympathetic guy or anything. He's meant to be an asshole, which is that's what he is. He is just an asshole disguised as, I'm the everyday man who gets beat up every day. I take everything from the world. You do, kind of. Like, they do kind of show that, and there is kind of some sympathy there, but you also make probably the single worst decision a husband has ever made.
Yeah.
Ever. And it's kind of crazy you were an actual person.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst part.
That's crazy. That sucks.
And then, I gotta say, Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare, they play, like, the criminals, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They just have a chemistry with each other that they riv off each other like the whole movie. Steve Buscemi being like the really talkative guy, always talking, he literally has a specific line where he's like, yeah, I'm going to shut up now. Total silence. You're going to hate it because it's going to be total silence in here when I shut up. And you're just kind of like, okay, when are you going to shut up?
Yeah.
But Steve Buscemi, though, carries the comedy in this movie. He is,
no doubt.
He is so funny. It's actually crazy. And Peter Stormare, who I'm not familiar with beyond this movie, he plays basically like the brooding, like, psychopath, like, partner.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's basically like Steve Buscemi, like, hey, make a funny joke. And then this guy's just like, fuck you. And he's smoking like a cigarette or something. You know, he's real serious, overly serious. He's like a psycho. He literally is kind of a psychopath.
Yeah.
And They have good chemistry. They have real good chemistry together. All in all, I think what's so good about the movie is that it is lighthearted in a lot of sense of the film. Like, a lot of parts of the film is lighthearted and comedic, but it interweaves the thrilling aspects very well and, like, the more serious aspects very well. And it also has a really good ending. And an ending that's maybe expected, but still some things are thrown in there that keep you on your toes, I think.
Yeah.
Not enough to where you can fully be like, yeah, I know what's happening 100% by the end. And I don't, beyond that, I think it's really just overall, it's just a really strong movie. There isn't really anything wrong with the movie.
Right.
That's what I struggle to find with this movie is I don't dislike really anything with the movie.
Yeah.
I think maybe some parts are better than others, but there's nothing really to dislike. And it's also a short movie too, 98 minutes long. It's a good,
that is pretty short.
Yeah, it's a good like 140-minute movie basically, or 140 hour and 40-minute movie basically. It's just a good movie. Like it's so hard to explain, but it is a very good movie, and maybe one of my favorite from the Coen brothers, who is they're a very strong like writing and directing duo and stuff. This, in my opinion, I described it in my Instagram review of. I said it brings the like seriousness of No Country for Old Men, which is one of their like big thrilling serious films. With it has a bunch of people in it: Josh Brolin.
Tommy Lee Jones,
and Javier Bardem.
Yep.
Big serious thrilling movie for them.
That's a great movie.
So Fargo, in my opinion, combines the seriousness of No Country for Old Men and then the comedy of The Big Lebowski, which is also from the Coen brothers. Josh Brolin's it's not Josh Brolin. That's
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, John
Another
Goodman,
Marvel
and Steve
villain.
Buscemi. Steve Buscemi's
He's in that too.
But the comedy of The Big Lebowski with the seriousness of No Country for Old Men is met with Fargo, and it's perfect. It is really, really great in how they handle both those aspects, and I recommend it to everybody. Movie that will have you laughing and nail biting at the same time. It's It's a good movie for sure. I gave it 9.5. or not 9.5. I gave it a strong 9, almost 9.5 on my Instagram, and then it is 4.5 on Letterboxd too. Very close to that. I don't know if it's close to 5 stars, but it's close to like about as high as I can give 4.5 stars.
Yeah,
basically. And I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah.
Very good movie. And then my last movie, save the best for last.
Okay.
Got Let's Be Cops.
Oh.
From 2014. This is a real easy one to get through. Jake Johnson, Damon Wayans Jr. are the two leads. It also has Nina Dobrev in it from Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
Keegan-Michael Key as well. And it's a fun
It's
comedy
literally
movie.
dudes that just dress up as cops on Halloween, right?
Yeah, literally two dudes are like, dude, what if we're cops? And they dress up for as Halloween for cops, and they're like, they get pulled into this like big crime thing and stuff. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I said on my Letterboxd review of it, I said, puts the dumb in dumb comedies. It does. It's fun though. It is fun. I think what the movie kind of perfectly shows though is how just how much you can get away with in a police officer, like just in a uniform as a police officer.
Yeah.
You can do whatever. You can do anything.
Yeah.
And obviously it's obviously played to an extreme extent for the movie and stuff.
Right.
But it's more so like cops can get away with anything basically. It's more so like if you're a cop, you can basically do whatever, which is kind of reinforced by the end of the movie where the Jake Johnson, the guy who wants to be a cop, becomes a cop, and then he just does whatever he wants at the end of the movie. He's driving on the sidewalk with his car and stuff like, okay.
They do that in Hangover too when they have the cop car and they do whatever they want. He literally says, Bradley Cooper literally goes, I should have been a cop.
But no, it's I don't know. It's just dumb.
Yeah. The entire movie is just the impersonation of police officer.
Yeah,
that's
literally.
all it is.
And it's dumb and fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anybody, but I wouldn't not recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
It's also like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's, just watch it if you need an hour and 30 minutes to kill or want to watch a decent comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a horrible comedy. It really isn't. But it's also not like if you're actually watching like the story and stuff, there are like good comedies with a decent story, like Horrible Bosses, I Love You Man. And then there's like good comedies that are like not good story-wise at all.
Yeah, they just
and that's Let's Be Cops.
Yeah, they throw everything with the jokes.
Yeah.
It's like they just put all their focus into that.
Yeah, and it's literally just like, how did these guys get through so many obstacles? Like, someone obviously would have checked them and stuff at some point.
Yeah.
And how are they even putting things together that like trained police officers definitely, trained detectives even might not put together.
Yeah.
These guys do, but it's obviously a comedy movie. It's dumb. It's fun. I gave it a 1.5 on Letterboxd.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was like I probably want to watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely not. And I will say this: humor wasn't. It wasn't like that good. The humor, it was more so chuckles rather than full on laughs from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Literally calling out, you're like, that was humorous.
Yeah, that was humorous. That was indeed funny.
Straight faced.
No, but it's stupid, and it's a dumb comedy.
Yeah,
That's it. That is what it is.
Better than Fargo, though, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that was my recommendations.
Nice.
Or not recommendations, depending on
depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of this episode.
Indeed.
Thank you guys for tuning in this week. There was a lot that happened. A poster fell off the wall.
Yeah. Wonder what happened with that.
I know. I used my mind power
Yeah.
to knock it off the wall. But thank you all for tuning in this week. If you want to catch us elsewhere, you can catch us on our personal and our business Instagram. You can find us at Cinemaniacs Pod on Instagram, and then you can find us separately on Instagram. I am at Maceo Movies.
I'm at Lodo Reviews.
And we post we try to post very frequently on their movie reviews. And you can follow our Letterboxd, all pretty much same names, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this week, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
See you later. How long do we hold this?
The Cinemaniacs podcast.